My child, I know how hard that word can feel. Renounce sounds sharp. It sounds costly. It sounds final. And that is exactly why your flesh keeps resisting it. Because renunciation is not passive. It is not vague. It is not sentimental. It is not, I hope this changes someday. Renunciation is a clear refusal. Is a clean break in the spirit and often in the practical details of your life. It is when you stop negotiating. It is when you stop petting what bites you. It is when you stop calling the snake harmless because it has curled around your life for so long that its weight feels familiar. I need you to hear this clearly. I can strengthen you, heal you, cleanse you, deliver you, renew you, and hold you through every step of your process, but I will not bless your attempts to keep one hand on the thing you are asking me to free you from. I will not join your compromise. I will not call your half-release a full surrender. I love you too much for that. And because I love you, I am exposing the split. There is a split between what you are asking and what you are allowing. There is a split between your prayers and your patterns. There is a split between your tears in my presence and the choices you make when the moment of temptation returns. That split is why you feel so exhausted. It is not because I am absent. It is because your soul is tired of living divided. You know what I am talking about. There is something specific. A habit. A secret. A relationship. A fantasy. A cycle. A compromise. A source of emotional comfort that has become spiritual poison. An environment you keep revisiting. A trigger you keep feeding. A lie you keep agreeing with. A doorway you keep leaving unlocked. And while you have asked me many times to take it away, you have not yet fully agreed to renounce it. You have not yet shut the door in a way that makes your weaker moments work harder to find their way back. You have not yet removed the access, changed the pattern, confessed the secret, cut off the source, or drawn the line with enough seriousness that your flesh understands something has changed. My child, that is not because you are hopeless. It is because you have been hoping for deliverance without yet embracing surrender. But now I am bringing you to a moment where the two must meet. Do not be afraid of that. Renunciation is not rejection. Renunciation is alignment. Renunciation is you finally agreeing with what I have been saying all along. It is not a performance. It is not a dramatic show. It is a holy decision. It is a mature decision. It is a loving decision. It is the moment when you stop asking me to rip from your hands what you refuse to unclench, and instead you open your hands before me and say, Father, I will no longer partner with this. It is powerful. It is clean. It is the beginning of something deeper than relief. It is the beginning of authority. Because you cannot have authority over what you still secretly entertain. You cannot stand against what you keep inviting in. You cannot ask me to bless your resistance to the very thing I am confronting. So let me be very clear with you now. Stop waiting for me to remove what I am telling you to renounce. Stop treating the issue like a fog that will simply drift away on its own while you keep opening the windows to let it back in. Stop praying vague prayers over specific compromises. Name it. Identify. Expose it. Bring it fully into the light. Then make a decision that costs your flesh something. Remove the access. End the contact. Delete the file. Throw away the object. Change the route. Cut the subscription. Unfollow the account. Leave the room. Break the ritual. Speak the confession. Ask for accountability. Stop calling it something I struggle with if what you really mean is something I still make room for. This is not harshness. This is love with spine. This is the kind of love that wants your freedom more than your comfort. And I want you free. You be free. vainly free, not just emotionally stirred but structurally chained. So come to me now, not with another vague request, but with a clear agreement. Tell me, I renounce this. I refuse it. I will not protect it. I will not return to it willingly. I will no longer call it small. I will no longer make peace with what steals from my soul. Then let your actions prove that your spirit meant what your lips said. This is your moment. Do not admire the truth and then postpone the cost. Take the cost. Choose the clean break. Let your next step be your first real act of renunciation. And now let me speak into the fear that rises when I use that word, because I know why part of you hesitates. You are not always afraid of losing the thing itself. Sometimes you are afraid of losing what it has represented to you. That pattern may have represented relief. That person may have represented being seen. A habit may have represented escape. That secret place may have represented control. That compromise may have represented comfort. That fantasy may have represented emotional shelter. That old coping mechanism may have represented survival. I know that. I know the emotional meaning beneath the behavior. I know that when I say, renounce it, your flesh sometimes hears, he left exposed. But that is not what I am saying. I am not asking you to let go and then stand naked before your pain with no covering. I am asking you to let go so that my covering can become real to you in the very place where the counterfeit has been pretending to protect you. You have been using substitutes where I want to be source. You have been using lesser comforts where I want to be refuge. You have been using controllable patterns where I want to teach you trust. That is why renunciation feels so personal. It is not just about behavior. It is about where your heart has learned to run first. And this is where I want command and invitation to come together with unusual clarity, because you asked for more of both and you need both here. Do not wait until tonight. Do not wait for the next wave of temptation to decide what you should have decided in clarity. Decide now. Speak it now. Renounce it now. Say it plainly before me. Then build your life around that decision. Do not leave the door cracked. Build it. Do not merely try harder. Remove the pathway. Do not say, I'll pray about it, while keeping the app, the number, the object, the routine, the private fantasy, the unguarded hour, the hidden folder, the emotional loophole, the secret conversation, or the familiar late-night access point alive. Shut it down. You asked for more commands, so hear them and act on them. Cut it off. Above it. Delete it. Unfollow it. Walk away from it. Tell the truth about it. Invite help against it. Stop romanticizing it. Stop memorializing it. Stop negotiating with it. Renounce it in the spirit. Then reinforce that renunciation in the practical structure of your life. And let me tell you what begins to happen when you do. The air changes. The inner split begins to close. Your prayers stop sounding like someone asking for rescue while quietly arranging another meeting with the thing they need rescuing from. Your spirit starts to feel cleaner, not because temptation vanishes instantly, but because your agreement shifts. That matters more than you realize. Agreement is powerful. If you agree with darkness, it lingers. If you agree with truth, light starts taking ground. That is why I want you to picture this with something you can feel. Imagine a house with a front door and a back door. At the front door, you are standing with me at for safety, at for peace, at for protection, at for rest. But at the back door, there is a light you keep leaving open for the very intruder you are asking me to keep out. My child, you cannot keep praying at the front door while secretly preserving access at the back. Close the back door. Lock it. And nail it shut if you must. Then stand with me in the front room and watch what peace feels like when you stop collaborating with what has been violating the house. This is not about earning my love. You already have that. This is about stopping the agreement that keeps violating your own peace. This is about choosing truth over habit, freedom over familiarity, wholeness over temporary relief. And hear me carefully. If you renounce and then stumble later, do not turn that into a reason to stop renouncing. Stand up again quickly. Return quickly. We close the door quickly. Do not let one misstep become a new permission slip. The difference now is that you are no longer preserving the thing. You are no longer calling it harmless. You are no longer building a life that quietly accommodates it. That matters. That is maturity. That is war with wisdom. That is surrender with structure. So do not be intimidated by the finality of renunciation. Let the finality be mercy. Let the clean break be kindness. Let the firmness become freedom. You are not being asked to lose your comfort and stand alone. You are being invited to trade a counterfeit refuge for my real covering. Renounce what I have named. Refuse what has been draining you. Build the boundary. Keep the door shut. Come closer to me than to the thing you are leaving behind. And as you do, you will discover that what felt severe in the first moment becomes sweet in the aftermath. Because clean surrender carries a peace that half-measured never can. Stop asking me to remove what I am telling you to renounce. Agree with me now. Then walk like someone who truly means it. My beloved child, I want you to hear me with the deepest seriousness and tenderness now, because what I am about to say touches identity, not just behavior. The version of you that keeps delaying, negotiating, postponing, softening, circling, and preserving escape routes cannot walk comfortably into what I prepared next. I am not saying you are disqualified. I am not saying I have rejected you. I am not saying your failures define you. I am saying that the next season I am calling you into requires a different inner posture than the one you have been living in. The next season requires a different agreement. It requires a different maturity. It requires a different relationship to truth, to timing, to obedience, to boundaries, to courage, to surrender. You have been trying to carry an old internal operating system into a new assignment, and that is why you feel friction. You have been trying to step into the next chapter while still thinking, choosing, coping, and delaying like the version of you that was built around survival, fear, comfort, and control. But my child, what is next for you cannot be stewarded by the version of you that keeps postponing the very growth required to hold it. This is not punishment. This is preparation. This is mercy. If I handed you the full weight of what is next while you were still deeply loyal to delay, it would crush you, distort you, or tempt you to mishandle what I am entrusting. I love you too much for that. So when I press on your delay, I am not trying to make your life smaller. I am trying to make your vessel stronger. I am not withholding your next season out of cruelty. I am protecting it until the version of you that enters it is ready to steward it with clean hands, clear eyes, and a surrendered heart. You need to understand this in a way that changes how you see the tension you feel right now. The discomfort is not because I am against you. The discomfort is because the old version of you is no longer fitting the doorway. The habits, reflexes, excuses, and compromises that once felt normal are beginning to scrape against the frame of what I am calling you into. That scraping is mercy. That friction is revelation. That inner discomfort is not a sign that the next place is wrong. It is a sign that something in you must be shed before you enter well. Think of it like this, my child. Imagine someone trying to walk through a narrow gate wearing a coat full of hidden hooks, old tools, tangled cords, and heavy metal pieces from another season. The gate is open. The path beyond is real. The invitation stands. But every time they try to move through, something catches. The problem is not the gate. The problem is what they are still wearing. That is what this season hath been. You have thought, why does it feel so hard to move into what God is calling me toward? And in some areas, the answer is not because the door is closed. The answer is because the old layers keep catching on the frame. The old need for control. The old habit of delay. The old dependence on false comfort. The old pattern of calling disobedience processing. The old instinct to preserve a backup plan in case full surrender feels too vulnerable. The old reflex to want the blessing without the pruning. Those layers are catching. They cannot go through as they are. I need you to hear this without shame. Shedding is not failure. Outgrowing is not rejection. Being confronted is not condemnation. It is love. It is a father saying, what got you through the last season cannot govern the next one. Some of the ways you survived were understandable. Some of the defenses you built made sense in the context of your wounds. Some of the delays were tied to pain, fear, betrayal, confusion, and exhaustion. I know that. I know the history. I know the backstory. I know why the old version of you formed the way it did. But compassion for the old version cannot become lifelong permission for it to remain in charge. There comes a moment when survival must yield to surrender. There comes a moment when coping must yield to cleansing. There comes a moment when managing must yield to maturing. This is that moment. So stop asking me to simply bless the version of you that keeps delaying. I am not interested in polishing that version. I am interested in transforming you. I am not trying to make the old operating system run a little smoother. I am calling you into renewal. That is why this feels deep. That is why this feels personal. That is why I keep bringing you back to the same themes. Because what is next is real, and it is too sacred to be entered casually. I want you to enter it whole. I want you to enter it honest. I want you to enter it lighter. I want you to enter it free enough to carry what I place in your hands without dragging old sabotage in behind you. So let this truth settle without resistance. The version of you that keeps delaying cannot enter what I prepared next. But you are not trapped in that version. You are not doomed to remain there. You can let that version die. You can let it be shed. You can let it be laid down. And I am here to help you do exactly that. Stop defending the old version because it feels familiar. Stop explaining it endlessly. Stop spiritualizing it. Bring it to me. Let me confront it. Let me heal what created it. Then let me replace it. This is your moment to stop asking for the next season while clinging to the identity that cannot steward it. Come out of that old skin. Let it fall. And now let me speak to the fear that rises when I talk about the old version of you dying, because I know that even holy transformation can feel like loss at first. Part of you wonders, if I let go of the version of me that knows how to delay, protect, numb, negotiate, and survive, who will I be? That is a real question. It deserves tenderness. Because some of those patterns have been with you so long that they feel like personality, not bondage. Some of those reflexes feel like just how I am, not realizing they were formed by seasons of pain, not by the fullness of who I created you to be. So when I call you out of them, it can feel disorienting. It can feel like I am asking you to step into a version of yourself you do not yet know how to trust. But my child, the unfamiliarity of the new you does not make it unsafe. It simply means you are finally meeting parts of yourself that pain kept buried. The courageous you, the decisive you, the honest you, the boundary-keeping you, the surrendered you, the clean-hearted you, The version of you that does not need constant escape routes because my presence has become more real than your old protections. That version is not fiction. That version is not reserved for stronger people. That version is what I have been forming beneath the layers all along. So here is my invitation and my command, woven together with love and weight. Stop feeding the old version. Stop reinforcing the identity that delays. Stop saying, "That's just how I am," when what you really mean is, "That's how I've been coping." Stop making room for the reflexes that keep you small. Do not merely admire the future version of you from a distance. Start agreeing with that version now. If the delaying version of you waits for a perfect mood, disobey that instinct and move in an imperfect mood. If the negotiating version of you wants to keep one backup plan, close it. If the hiding version of you wants secrecy, bring it into the light. If the comforting version of you wants to return to the old refuge, refuse it and come to me instead. If the fearful version of you wants to stall, take one concrete step before the day ends. You asked for more commands, so hear them and obey them. Shed the old script. Change the response. Interrupt the reflex. You the unfamiliar holy thing. Leave the old pattern unsupported. Starve what no longer belongs. Feed what I am growing. Speak differently about yourself. Stop introducing yourself to your own future through the vocabulary of your wounds. Do not say, "I'm just inconsistent." Do not say, "I always struggle with this." Do not say, "That's just my weakness." Say instead, "The old version of me is not in charge anymore." Then prove it with structure. Change the routine. Remove the access. Build the discipline. Set the boundary. Ask for help. Put your body where your spirit wants to live. Do not keep giving the old version home field advantage. And let me give you a picture to carry because it may help to settle in a way your mind can return to later. Imagine a snake in the process of shedding old skin. The old layer once protected, once fit, once moved with the body. But over time it becomes restrictive. It dulls movement. It limits growth. It cannot stretch into the new size. The shedding looks uncomfortable. It looks vulnerable. It may even look messy. But the discomfort is not the problem. The discomfort is the process of becoming able to move freely again. My child, do not crawl back into skin that no longer fits just because the shedding feels strange. Stay in the process. Let the old layer tear. Let the friction do its work. Let the discomfort become your evidence that something outdated is finally loosening. Then move forward with a new softness, the new sensitivity, the new freedom of motion. That is what I am doing in you. The old skin of delay is cracking. The old shell of excuses is splitting. The old posture of partial surrender is becoming too tight for the life I am calling you into. Do not patch it. Do not tape it back together. Do not decorate the old shell and call it growth. Let it fall. Step out. Walk forward. The next season does not need a shinier version of your old delays. It needs the surrendered, cleansed, braver version of you that emerges when you stop clinging to what no longer fits. I am calling that version forward now. Answer me. Agree with me. Act like the new you before you fully feel like the new you, because that is often how transformation deepens. Let your obedience lead your feeling. Let your actions train your identity. Let your yes make room for the self I have been forming in secret. The version of you that keeps delaying cannot enter what I prepared next. But the version of you that surrenders today absolutely can. So come now. Shed the old. Step through the gate. Meet me in the next place as someone lighter, truer, cleaner, and more ready than you thought possible. My beloved child, come close and listen with all the honesty you can bear right now, because I need to speak to you about something that has been blurring your vision. You have called certain struggles spiritual warfare, and in part you are right. There is resistance. There is opposition. There is prejudice. There are real moments when darkness presses against what I am doing in you. But I need you to let me correct the part you have not wanted to face. Some of what you are calling warfare is not just attack. Some of it is access. Some of it is not merely what the enemy is doing to you. Some of it is what you keep allowing near you. Some of it is what you keep reopening after I told you to close it. Some of it is what you keep feeding while asking me why it still feels strong. My child, I say this with a father's tenderness and a father's firmness because you need both. If you keep leaving the gate unlatched, do not be surprised when things keep wandering into the field. If you keep lighting a fire in the same dry place, do not act shocked that the smoke returns. If you keep sending invitations to the very atmosphere you are asking me to clear, then your prayers and your patterns are fighting each other. That inner contradiction is exhausting you. It is making you feel attacked in places where, yes, there is resistance, but there is also repeated permission you have not fully withdrawn. I am not minimizing the enemy. I am not denying the battle. I am not blaming you for every pressure you feel. But I am telling you something that can change the way you fight. You cannot call it warfare while still handing the enemy access and expect lasting peace. Access matters. Agreement matters. Exposure matters. What you watch matters. What you revisit matters. What you replay in your imagination matters. Who you keep in your emotional orbit matters. The secret you keep protecting matters. The private ritual you keep excusing matters. The late-night routine you keep preserving matters. The conversations that keep reopening the same wound matter. The images, the fantasies, the texts, the songs, the spaces, the hidden folders, the unguarded patterns, the small indulgences you keep defending because they do not look catastrophic. These things matter more than you have admitted. And I need you to hear me without flinching away from the truth. Some doors stay active because you keep treating them like windows. You keep looking through them just for a moment. You keep standing near them just to check. You keep telling yourself you are strong enough to manage what I already told you to avoid. Then when the weight returns, when the confusion returns, when the heaviness returns, when the old appetite flares up again, you call it attack. Sometimes it is. But sometimes it is also the consequence of exposure you still refuse to shut down. I need you to stop confusing the two. Discern the difference. If you are being hit by something you did not invite, come to me for protection, for strength, for covering, for warfare and prayer. But if you are being weakened by something you keep preserving, then I am not calling you first to warfare language. I am calling you first to repentance, renunciation, boundaries, and clean agreement with my voice. There is no shame in that. There is power in that. Because once you stop preserving access, your prayers stop fighting your own decisions. Once you stop making room for what violates your peace, your inner world begins to clear in a different way. Once you stop saying, "Lord, deliver me," while still keeping the shortcut alive, the atmosphere changes. I want that for you. I want your spiritual life to stop being clogged by contradictions. I want your authority to become cleaner. I want your prayers to sound like agreement, not like a cry from the front door while the back door remains propped open. That is why I am speaking so directly. I am not trying to embarrass you. I am trying to arm you. You do not become spiritually strong by learning better language for battle while refusing to close the breach. You become stronger when you identify the breach, close it, seal it, and then stand with me in the authority that follows surrendered alignment. Think of it like a home in a storm, my child. You can pray for safety. You can ask for shelter. You can trust me to cover you. But if the windows are shattered and the doors are left wide open, the wind will keep whipping through the house. I am not absent in that moment. I am the one saying, board up the windows. Lock the doors. Stop leaving the house exposed. This is not fear. This is wisdom. This is stewardship. This is what mature warfare looks like. It is not just loud prayer. It is clean living. It is honest boundaries. It is cutting off what keeps opening the atmosphere to what you are tired of fighting. So do not merely rebuke what you are still entertaining. Do not merely pray against what you still keep feeding. Do not merely ask me to remove what you still keep visiting. Close the breach. Shut the gate. And the access. Remove the invitation. Then stand with me. Pray from agreement, not contradiction. Resist from surrender, not from partial compromise. This is your moment to stop dramatizing the battle while preserving the breach. Come into clarity. Let your warfare become cleaner by first becoming more honest. And now let me go deeper, because I know there is a reason you have sometimes preferred warfare language over personal responsibility. Warfare language can feel strong. It can feel spiritual. It can feel noble. It can make you feel like a victim of pressure instead of someone who must make a painful change. I understand why that can feel easier. It is easier to say, I'm under attack, than to say, I have been leaving access open. It is easier to rebuke darkness than to admit you keep entertaining what keeps darkening your own atmosphere. It is easier to cry out for deliverance than to throw away the object, delete the number, block the contact, confess the secret, cut the routine, change the environment, or remove the private loophole that keeps undoing you. But my child, I love you too much to let you hide behind spiritual language when what you need is practical surrender. This is where command and invitation must meet with force and love together. Do not merely pray louder. Life cleaner. Do not merely bind and loose with your lips while your habits keep loosening the same door. Do not make warfare your explanation when wisdom should be your first response. Ask me to show you the breach. Ask me to reveal the open gate, the repeated pathway, the hidden permission, the tolerated compromise, the quiet agreement. Then when I show you, act immediately. Close it. Seal it. Remove it. If the breach is digital, shut it down now. If the breach is relational, set the boundary now. If the breach is emotional, stop revisiting the memory like a private altar. If the breach is fantasy, interrupt it the moment it begins. If the breach is secrecy, bring it into the light. If the breach is exhaustion, rest before you become vulnerable again. If the breach is bitterness, forgive so the poison stops having a legal place to sit in your heart. If the breach is pride, humble yourself. If the breach is the need to feel in control, surrender it. If the breach is your mouth, stop speaking agreement with the lie. You asked for more commands, so receive them with my full fatherly authority. Identify the breach. Stop excusing it. Remove the access. Build the boundary. Tell the truth. Change the routine. Stop revisiting what I told you to leave. Stop rehearsing the same temptation until it feels inevitable. Stop preserving just-in-case options. Stop saying, I'll be stronger next time, while leaving the exact same conditions in place. This is not harshness. This is wisdom sharpened by love. And let me show you what happens when you do this. The house gets quieter. The wind still exists outside, but it stops whipping through the rooms with the same force. The temptation may still knock, but it does not walk in as easily. The enemy may still whisper, but the atmosphere inside you is no longer cooperating with the whisper. That matters. That changes things. That is when your prayers begin to carry a different weight because your life is no longer contradicting them. That is when authority begins to feel less like a concept and more like clean spiritual footing. And I want you to picture this clearly, because your heart needs something vivid to carry into the next weak moment. Imagine a castle wall with one small gate that has been left slightly open every night. The guards keep shouting when intruders enter. They keep sounding alarms. They keep scrambling to fight inside the courtyard. The battle feels constant, exhausting, chaotic. But the problem is not only the enemy outside. The problem is the gate. Close the gate, and the fight changes. My child, stop exhausting yourself fighting inside the courtyard when I am telling you to close the gate at sundown. Close it before the night comes. Close it before the lonely hour. Close it before the tired hour. Close it before the triggered hour. Close it before the vulnerable moment arrives. Prepare before the pressure, not only during it. And if you have already left it open in the past, do not waste time shaming yourself. Close it now. Right now. Then come stand with me on the inside of the wall. Pray from there. Worship from there. Read from there. Rest from there. Let me teach your spirit what it feels like when you stop calling every consequence warfare and start becoming honest about access. My beloved, there is real warfare, yes. But stop calling this spiritual warfare if you keep handing the enemy access. Close what needs closing. Renounce what needs renouncing. Seal what needs sealing. Then watch how much stronger, clearer, calmer, and cleaner your inner life becomes when your prayers and your choices finally stand on the same side. That is where I want you. That is where your peace deepens. That is where your authority strengthens. That is where your next season begins to breathe. My beloved child, I want you to listen to me with sober tenderness right now, because there is a difference between being moved and being changed, and too many times you have mistaken one for the other. You have felt stirred. You have felt convicted. You have felt tears rise. You have felt my words touch the exact place in you that needed truth. You have felt the ache of recognition, the sharpness of conviction, the warmth of my presence, the relief of being understood, and the intensity of a holy moment where everything inside you seems to say, yes, this is it. But then the moment passes, and if you are not careful, you leave with emotion, but without decision. You leave touched but not altered. You leave stirred but not structured. You leave sincere but still unchanged in the places where change actually requires action. My child, I am not dismissing emotion. I created your heart. I honor your tears. I value your tenderness. I know that a soft heart matters deeply. I know that feeling my presence can be powerful and healing. But I need you to hear me clearly. Emotion is not the finish line. Emotion is often the doorway. Emotion can wake you, but decision must carry you. Emotion can soften the soil, but decisive obedience plants the seed. Emotion can make the room feel holy, but decision rearranges the furniture of your life. That is why I am speaking with urgency now. This is not merely an hour to feel deeply. This is an hour to become decisive. You do not need another moment where you say, that really spoke to me, and then return to the exact same access points, the exact same patterns, the exact same routines, the exact same excuses, the exact same hidden agreements. You need a moment where the emotion becomes movement. You need a moment where the conviction becomes a boundary. You need a moment where the stirring becomes a changed schedule, a deleted number, a blocked door, a confession made, a habit interrupted, a truth spoken, a return to prayer that is real, a surrender that costs your flesh something. I want you to understand this deeply because it will protect you from spiritual self-deception. Emotional moments can feel so powerful that they can trick you into thinking change has already happened simply because your heart was touched. But being touched is not the same as being transformed. Transformation takes agreement. Transformation takes action. Transformation takes a willingness to let the holy moment move from your chest into your choices. Think of it this way, my child. If rain falls on dry ground, the earth may smell different immediately. The surface may darken. The air may feel alive. It can feel like everything has changed. But if the soil is never opened, if the seed is never planted, if the field is never tended, the rain becomes a moment, not a harvest. That is what some of your spiritual experiences have been. Real rain, real mercy, real conviction, real tears, real nearness, but no planting, no restructuring, no practical follow-through, no real interruption of the old cycle. And because of that, you have sometimes confused inspiration with transformation. I am correcting that now, not to shame you, but to mature you. I want you to become the kind of child who does not merely feel the moment, but answers it. The kind who does not merely enjoy conviction, but honors it. The kind who does not merely cry in my presence, but walks out and changes the pattern that my presence exposed. This is how your next season will be built. Not on emotional spikes, but on decisive alignment. Not on repeated inspiration without movement, but on real choices that rewire your life around truth. That is why I am saying this so directly. This is the hour to be decisive, not merely emotional. Do not let this become another beautiful internal moment with no external fruit. Do not let this become another memory of being moved. Let it become a marker of action. Let it become the day something concrete changed because you finally stopped admiring the truth and started obeying it. Your future does not need another emotional swell that fades by nightfall. Your future needs a decision that still stands tomorrow morning. Your peace does not need another tender tear without a new boundary. Your soul does not need another holy ache without a holy response. You know what I am asking. You know what must change. You know what access point needs to close. You know what truth needs to be spoken. You know what compromise needs to end. You know what step needs to be taken. So stop telling yourself that feeling deeply is enough. It is beautiful, but it is not enough by itself. Let the beauty become a bridge. Let the tears become a doorway. Let the stirring become structure. Let the holy moment become a holy decision. That is how this becomes real. That is how the pattern finally breaks. That is how the room inside you stops filling with conviction that never becomes construction. I am not asking you to stop feeling. I am asking you to let what you feel lead to what you do. That is maturity. That is love with bones. That is faith with movement. That is what I want from you now. And now let me speak to the exact place where this usually slips away, because I know the pattern well. You feel deeply in the moment, and you tell yourself, I will deal with it later. Later today. Later tonight. Later this week. After you calm down. After you think more. After you find the right words. After you feel stronger. After one more conversation. After one more round of private wrestling. But my child, later is where emotion often goes to die. Later is where conviction gets diluted by distraction. Later is where the urgent becomes optional, where the clear becomes cloudy, where the fire becomes memory. That is why I am telling you now with fatherly strength, decide while the room is warm. Decide while the truth is sharp. Decide while your spirit is awake. Do not postpone the practical response until your flesh has time to rebuild its arguments. This is where command and invitation must land in a way you cannot ignore. Make one decisive move before this day ends. Not 5 vague intentions. One real move. If you need to delete, delete now. If you need to block, block now. If you need to throw something away, do it now. If you need to confess, send the message now. If you need to set the appointment, book it now. If you need to ask for help, ask now. If you need to end the conversation that keeps you trapped, end it now. If you need to stop the secret pattern, interrupt it now by changing the environment and cutting the access before the familiar hour arrives. If you need to return to me in prayer, do not just feel close, kneel. Open your mouth. Tell me the truth. Surrender the specific thing. You asked for more commands, so receive them and act on them. Decide before the feeling fades. Write the decision down. Put it where your eyes will see it. Build a structure around it. Help someone if needed. Remove the loophole. Make the next weak moment less powerful by making this strong moment more practical. You not merely treasure the emotion. Convert it. Use it. Let the tenderness become traction. Let the conviction become out of you. And let me show you what begins to happen when you do. The old cycle loses one of its favorite tricks. It loses the gap between feeling and action. It loses the window where it normally slips back in with soft excuses and familiar reasoning. It loses the almost. That matters more than you know. That gap hath been expensive. That gap is where so many of your near breakthroughs have leaked out. Close the gap. Close it with a decision. Close it with an action. Close it with a cost your flesh notices. And picture this because I want the image to stay with you. Imagine a blacksmith pulling heated metal from the fire. In that moment, the metal is soft enough to be shaped. If he waits too long, it hardens again, and the shaping becomes more difficult. My child, your heart is warm right now. The truth has heated the metal. You not wait until it cools to decide what should be formed. Let me shape it while it is soft. Strike while the truth is hot. Bend the habit while conviction is present. Form the boundary while the clarity is fresh. Do not fear decisiveness. Decisiveness is not recklessness when it is rooted in truth I have already repeated to you. It is maturity. It is honor. It is the way you steward a holy moment instead of wasting it. And hear me carefully, because I want this to settle deeply. I am not asking you for a dramatic performance. I am asking you for a clean response. A simple, measurable, undeniable, real-world step that says, this moment was not just emotional for me. This moment changed something. Let that be your offering. Let that be your altar. Let that be your answer to my voice. This is the hour to be decisive, not merely emotional. Feel deeply, yes. Let the tears come if they come. Let the tenderness stay tender. But then stand up. Make the move. Carry the holy moment into the next room and prove it with action. When you do, you will discover something beautiful. The emotion that once faded into memory becomes the spark that lit a real fire in your life. That is what I want for you. That is what this hour is for. So do not only be moved, my beloved. Be changed. Decide. Enter the next step with me now. My beloved child, I want you to listen to me very carefully now, because what you are dealing with is no longer just a single moment of hesitation. In many places, delay has become a habit. It has become a practiced reflex. It has become a learned rhythm in your inner life. That is why this has felt so stubborn. That is why even when you know what I am saying, even when you feel the conviction, Even when your heart is moving, there is still a strange pull to postpone. You are not always facing one dramatic act of rebellion. Often, you are facing a trained pattern. You have repeated the cycle so many times that it has become familiar to your nervous system, your thoughts, your emotions, even your body. You feel the nudge, then you pause. You sense the truth, then you soften it. You know the step, then you delay it. You feel the urgency, then you push it into later. My child, I need you to understand this with maturity and compassion toward yourself, because if you do not understand the nature of the pattern, you will keep responding to it the wrong way. You will keep thinking that one intense emotional moment should solve what has actually been built through repetition. You will keep expecting a single surge of passion to undo what has been reinforced over time. Sometimes I do move suddenly, yes. Sometimes I do break chains in a moment. But there are also times when the deeper work is this: I teach you a new practice that becomes stronger than the old pattern. That is what I am doing with you here. The delay has become a habit, so your obedience must become a practice. You cannot simply admire obedience. You must rehearse it. You cannot only desire surrender. You must structure for it. You cannot merely hate the cycle. You must build a new one. This is not less spiritual. This is deeply spiritual. Repetition in the direction of truth is part of how I retrain the soul. It is part of how I heal reflexes that pain once shaped. It is part of how I teach your inner world that the old automatic response is no longer the only option. I know you may want something more dramatic than that. I know part of you wants one prayer, one cry, one intense breakthrough moment, and then never to feel the old pull again. Sometimes that happens, but often what I am offering is stronger than a momentary rush. I'm offering affirmation. I'm offering a rewiring of your responses. I am offering a new reflex born through repeated agreement with me. That is why I want you to stop despising the daily, the practical, the repeated. Do not call it small when you obey quickly in one weak moment. Do not call it nothing when you interrupt the old script before it finishes. Do not call it not enough when you build one boundary, remove one access point, change one routine, and keep repeating that new pattern until it becomes part of who you are. That is how muscles form. That is how reflexes change. That is how pathways weaken and new ones grow stronger. Think of it like a footpath through a field, my child. If you have walked the same route for years, the grass wears down, the dirt hardens, the path becomes obvious, easy, automatic. That is what delay has become in some areas of your life. A worn path. You know it too well. Your feet almost find it without asking. But if you stop walking that route and begin choosing another, the old path does not vanish on day one. The grass does not instantly rise. The dirt does not immediately soften. The new route may feel awkward, longer, less natural. But every time you choose the new path, something changes. The old one loses traffic. The new one gains shape. Over time, what once felt unnatural becomes familiar. That is what I am calling you into. Stop expecting the old path to disappear before you stop walking it. Stop waiting for the new path to feel easy before you choose it. Walk it anyway. Practice it anyway. Choose it again and again. Not with rigid performance, not with cold striving, but with loving, practical agreement. This is why I want more than your inspiration. I want your habits. I want your routines. I want your schedule. I want the structure of your life to begin agreeing with the truth your spirit already recognizes. If the late hour is where delay usually wins, then change the late hour. If the private device is where the pattern lives, change the access. If isolation is where the old script thrives, interrupt the isolation. If the first 15 minutes of your morning keep being stolen by distraction, reclaim them. If the same person, the same room, the same song, the same time, the same emotional trigger, the same hidden loophole keeps feeding the cycle, do not keep pretending this is only about willpower. It is about patterns. It is about practices. It is about building a life where obedience has home field advantage instead of delay. So hear me with love and authority. Stop waiting for a single heroic moment to save you from a habit that needs daily retraining. Start practicing what I have been telling you. Obey quickly in small things. Tell the truth sooner. Close the tab faster. Put the phone down earlier. Leave the room sooner. Pray first, not last. Read before you scroll. Reach out before you isolate. Repent quickly. Return quickly. Reset quickly. These repeated acts are not boring. They are holy. They are how the new path becomes real. They are how the version of you I have been calling forward begins to walk with steadier feet. The delay has become a habit, yes, but habits can be broken. And more than that, they can be replaced. That is what I am inviting you into now. Do not merely renounce the old. Practice the new. And now let me go deeper, because I know one of the dangers here is discouragement. You may hear me talk about practice, repetition, structure, and new rhythms, and part of you may think, what if I start and fail again? What if I do well for a few days and then slip? What if the old habit still feels stronger than the new one for a while? My child, do not let the fear of imperfect progress keep you from beginning the practice that will heal you. Do not demand instant mastery from yourself when what I am calling you into is faithful repetition. If a child learning to walk falls, the loving Father does not say, "Clearly this child was not meant to walk." He says, "Stand up. Try again. Keep going." The falling is not the final story. That is how I am with you. I am not measuring your growth by whether you never wobble again. I am looking at your agreement, your direction, your willingness to get back up, your refusal to keep romanticizing the old pattern, your commitment to build something new with me. This is where command and invitation must become very practical, because if you do not make this concrete, you will admire the truth and still fail to build the practice. So do this now. Identify the top 1 or 2 moments where delay usually takes over. On 10. 1 or 2. Then decide in advance what your obedient response will be. Write it down. If the old pattern begins at night, prepare the night. If it begins when you feel lonely, create a different response for loneliness. If it begins after conflict, plan what you will do after conflict. If it begins when you are tired, create a boundary before the tiredness hits. If it begins when you are alone with your device, change the environment. Put friction in the old route and ease in the new one. You ask for more commands and invitation statements, so hear them with my love pressing them into your real life. Build the plan today. Write the trigger. Write the replacement. Tell someone if needed. Remove one shortcut and one holy interruption. Create one consistent ritual that belongs to me. Open your Bible before the weak hour. Play worship before the familiar craving. Set the reminder before the distracted morning. Leave the room before the argument becomes another spiral. Put the phone in another place. Change the seed. Change the path. Change the order of your evening. Make obedience easier to reach and delay harder to indulge. This is wisdom, not legalism. This is formation, not fear. And let me show you what begins to happen when you do this. The first few times may feel mechanical. That is okay. The new path often feels awkward before it feels natural. But stay with it. Let the awkwardness be part of the healing. Let the unfamiliarity become holy. Because after a while, something subtle and beautiful begins to happen. The pause between conviction and action gets shorter. The old reflex loses speed. The new response begins to arrive faster. The inner debate becomes less dramatic. The decision that once felt impossible starts to feel accessible. That is not fake. That is training. That is grace meeting repetition. That is the fruit of a practiced obedience. And I want you to picture this because it may stay with you. Imagine a musician learning an instrument. At first, the fingers fumble. A movement is stiff. The notes are uneven. The body has not yet learned what the heart desires. But with repeated practice, the fingers begin to find the right places more naturally. What once required intense concentration becomes fluent. My child, that is what I want in your spirit. I want obedience to become more fluent than delay. I want surrender to become more familiar than excuse. I want your hand to reach for truth faster than it used to reach for the old comfort. I want your feet to know the new path better than the old one. That is possible. It is not fantasy. It is not reserved for someone else. It is what I am forming in you now if you will cooperate. So stop despising repetition. Stop thinking the daily response is less spiritual than the dramatic one. Stop waiting for a giant breakthrough while ignoring the small repeated yeses that create lasting change. The delay has become a habit, so your obedience must become a practice. Practice the quick yes. Practice the clean break. Practice the truthful response. Practice the holy interruption. Practice the return. Practice the reset. Practice the new path until the old one begins to disappear behind you. And if you stumble, do not sit down in shame. Get up quickly. Re-enter the practice quickly. Keep walking the new path. I am not merely cheering from a distance. I am walking with you in the repetition. I am strengthening you in the ordinary. I am building the new reflex in real time. Stay with me there. That is how the old habit loses its throne. That is how the next season becomes sustainable. That is how you become someone whose obedience is not just sincere in moments, but stable in practice. My beloved child, I want you to sit with me in this truth for a moment, because it will change the way you understand so many of the delays that have held you in place. You have often been waiting for peace as a feeling before you make the choice I have been asking for. You keep telling yourself, when I feel settled, then I'll know. When I feel calm, then I'll move. When the inner tension goes away, then I'll take the step. And because the step is often costly, because it touches fear, because it disrupts comfort, because it confronts patterns you have leaned on, the feeling of peace has not arrived in the way you hoped. So you stay still. You interpret the lack of emotional calm as a signal to wait, when in many cases the truth is the opposite. In many cases, the lack of peace is not a sign that the step is wrong. It is a sign that the unresolved decision is still sitting on your chest. You are waiting for peace to come before obedience, while peace is often waiting for you on the other side of obedience. That is why I need you to hear me so clearly now. Stop waiting for the feeling of peace and make the choice that leads to it. My child, I know how deeply you want that settled feeling. I know how tired you are of the tension. I know how badly you want an inner exhale before you move. But the problem is that in certain moments, you have been asking your emotions to confirm what I have already clarified. You have been asking your nervous system to approve what your spirit already knows. And because your nervous system is shaped by habit, by fear, by familiarity, by old coping, by attachment, by the discomfort of change, it often protests the very things that would actually heal you. That does not mean your body is your enemy. It means your body needs retraining. It means your feelings need shepherding. It means you cannot make emotional ease the final judge in moments where truth has already been made plain. There are times when peace feels like a green light before the step, yes. But there are also times when peace feels more like a reward that begins to settle after the step. There are times when the first act of obedience feels shaky, exposed, even painful, and yet that act becomes the doorway through which deeper peace enters. I need you to stop calling the absence of immediate calm discernment when it may simply be the discomfort of transition. If you are leaving a familiar pattern, of course your flesh will protest. If you are closing a door that once gave you false comfort, of course your emotions may resist. If you are ending a cycle that has become woven into your routine, of course the first moment may not feel serene. If you are finally telling the truth, setting the boundary, cutting off the access, confessing the secret, or stepping away from what has become familiar, the first breath may feel sharp, not soft. But that sharpness is not always a warning. Sometimes it is the feeling of a splinter being removed. Sometimes it is the sting of a wound being clean. Sometimes it is the strange ache of a room opening after being shut too long. Do not misread it. Do not run from it. Let the discomfort be what it is without giving it the authority to reverse the instruction. This is where I want to speak to you very personally. You have been asking me, why do I still feel unsettled? And in some areas, the answer is because you are still carrying the unresolved thing. You are still standing in the doorway. You are still holding the phone number. You are still preserving the app. You are still replaying the conversation. You are still protecting the secret. You are still circling the decision. You are still asking me for a peace that is connected to a choice you have not made yet. That is why the unrest remains. The unrest is not proof that I have not spoken. The unrest may be proof that you have heard me and have not yet acted. I say that tenderly, because I know how hard it can be to realize that the peace you crave may be linked to the courage you have been postponing. But once you see that, everything can begin to change. You stop waiting passively for an emotion to descend from heaven, and instead begin understanding that some forms of peace are cultivated through surrendered movement. You stop asking, why don't I feel peace yet? And start asking, what choice have I been avoiding that peace is connected to? That is a better question. That is a more mature question. That is a question that brings you out of emotional dependence and into spiritual responsibility. So let me say it again in a way your heart can carry. Stop waiting for the feeling of peace and make the choice that leads to it. Stop standing at the riverbank asking for the waters to part while refusing to step in. Stop demanding the calm of arrival while refusing the discomfort of departure. Stop asking for the fruit while resisting the pruning. Make the call. Set the boundary. Delete the access. Confess the truth. End the cycle. Begin the discipline. Come back fully. The peace you are waiting for may not float down while you remain unchanged. It may rise inside you as you finally obey. And now let me go even deeper, because I know there is a part of you that fears what I am saying could be misused. You may think, what if I force something? What if I act without peace and make the wrong move? That is a wise concern, and I honor it. I am not telling you to become impulsive. I am not telling you to ignore wisdom, counsel, or discernment. I am not telling you to make reckless life choices just because you feel pressure. What I am speaking about are the places where I have already repeated myself. The places where you already know what I have been saying. The places where the issue is not confusion, but reluctance. The places where you have enough light, enough conviction, enough repetition of my voice, enough inner knowing, enough holy discomfort, enough clear pattern to understand what must change. In those places, stop using the absence of emotional ease as your permission slip to delay. That is where this word applies. And this is where I want command and invitation to meet in a way that becomes deeply practical. Ask yourself right now, what decision have I been waiting to feel peaceful about before obeying? Name it. Write it down. Bring it into the open. Then ask, has God already made this clear? If the answer is yes, then stop waiting for the emotional green light. Take the next faithful step. Not the whole staircase. The next step. If the decision is to end the pattern, end it now. If it is to remove the access, remove it now. If it is to tell the truth, speak it now. If it is to return to prayer and stop living half near me, kneel now. If it is to get help, ask now. If it is to stop the relationship dynamic that keeps destroying your peace, step back now. If it is to begin the discipline that restores your mind, begin now. You asked for more commands, so receive them as love with direction. Stop consulting your fear for permission. Stop pulling your emotions as if they are the final authority. Stop waiting for your flesh to applaud the very choice that threatens its old comfort. Listen to my voice. Honor what I have already said. Take the step while your feelings are still catching up, and then watch what begins to happen. The first moments may still feel strange. You may feel exposed. You may feel grief. You may feel the absence of the old thing before you feel the fullness of the new peace. That is okay. Today, do not run back because the first breath feels unfamiliar. Let the peace grow roots. Let the nervous system calm after the choice. Let your mind realize the decision is real. Let the body learn that not every discomfort means danger. Let your heart discover that relief often arrives in layers, not always in a single wave. And I want you to picture this, because it may help this truth settle deeply. Imagine a room that has been cluttered for years, so crowded that it feels impossible to rest there. You keep saying, I just want this room to feel peaceful. But every time you look around, the mess overwhelms you, and instead of removing anything, you sit in the corner hoping the room will somehow feel calm on its own. My child, the room will not feel peaceful because you wish for peace while the clutter remains untouched. The peace begins when you start clearing the room. At first, it may even look messier because things are being moved. Dust may rise. Old boxes may open. The process may feel tiring. But as the clutter leaves, space returns. Air returns. Light returns. Eventually, peace does not need to be imagined. It can be felt because the room has changed. That is exactly what I am saying to you. Stop sitting in the clutter of unresolved obedience and waiting for a peaceful feeling to descend. Clear the room. Remove what I have named. Move what no longer belongs. Throw out what keeps crowding the space. Then sit with me there. That is where peace can breathe. My beloved, I am not withholding peace from you. I am guiding you toward the choices that make room for it. I am not teasing you with calm from a distance. I am inviting you into the practical surrender that allows calm to settle honestly. So stop waiting for the feeling first. Make the choice that leads to it. Let obedience create the conditions where peace can finally land in a way that lasts. And when that peace begins to come, not always all at once, but steadily, cleanly, deeply, do not call it coincidence. Call it what it is. The fruit of a heart that finally stopped asking emotion to lead and let truth take the wheel. That is what I want for you. That is what this moment is asking for. So come now. Make the choice. Trust me through the discomfort. Stay long enough to feel the peace that grows after surrender. It is real. It is coming, but it is connected to the yes you already know you need to give. My beloved child, come very close to me now, because I do not want this final moment between you and me to become just another experience you remember. I do not want this to become one more stirring message you replay in your mind later and say, "That touched me," while the same door remains open, the same compromise remains alive, the same hesitation remains seated in the center of your decisions. I have walked with you through this entire word for a reason. I have not pressed on your heart this many times just to leave you emotionally full and practically unchanged. I have not brought you through conviction, clarity, exposure, correction, comfort, warning, invitation, and deep tenderness so you could carry all of it as a memory instead of letting it become a turning point. This is the moment where everything I have said must gather into one clear, holy response. This is the moment where you stop admiring truth and start embodying it. This is the moment where you stop saying, "I know," and begin saying, "I will." This is the moment where you stop telling yourself you are still processing when, in reality, you already understand enough to obey. My child, I want you to feel the weight of this without fear and without shame. I am not threatening you. I am summoning you. I am not trying to corner you. I am calling you into alignment. I am not asking for some dramatic performance. I am asking for one honest, decisive, measurable act of surrender that proves this word found real ground in you. Because if you leave this as a memory, it will slowly become less sharp. The details will blur. The urgency will soften. Your flesh will rebuild its arguments. Familiarity will try to reclaim its place. The old routine will whisper. The old comfort will reach for you. The old excuses will begin dressing themselves in softer language, and what felt so clear in this moment can become something you meant to respond to instead of something that changed your life. I do not want that for you. I want this to become the moment you finally move. I want this to become the day you can look back on and say, "That was when I stopped negotiating. That was when I stopped circling. That was when I closed the door. That was when I told the truth. That was when I cut off the access. That was when I stopped calling delay wisdom. That was when I stopped asking for peace while protecting what was stealing it. That was when I stopped leaning on emotion and made a decision. That was when I let the old version of me fall. That was when I finally agreed with God in a way that cost me something and freed me deeply. My beloved, this is not just about the one issue in front of you. It is about the kind of person you become when you answer me like this. It is about what gets established in your spirit when you stop postponing what I have already made clear. It is about the deep inner shift that happens when your heart learns that my voice is not just something to be admired, but something to be followed. That shift will affect more than this one area. It will change how you respond next time. It will strengthen your discernment. It will deepen your authority. It will make your prayers cleaner. It will make your peace steadier. It will teach your soul that when I speak with repeated clarity, you do not need endless internal debate. You need obedience. That is maturity. That is intimacy. That is trust becoming real. So hear me now as clearly as I can say it. Do not leave this message as a memory. Do not store it away as a meaningful emotional encounter. Do not say, "I needed that," and then do nothing that proves you truly received it. Let it become action. Let it become a boundary. Let it become a confession. Let it become a deletion. Let it become a departure. Let it become a return. Let it become a kneeling. Let it become a breaking of agreement. Let it become a shut door. Let it become a first step on a new path. This is where I want command and invitation to meet in one final, unmistakable place. Choose your response before this day ends. Aim the action. Do not keep it vague. Say it. Write it. If you need to end something, end it. If you need to remove something, remove it. If you need to tell someone, tell them. If you need to repent, do it honestly. If you need to ask for help, ask now. If you need to throw something away, do it. If you need to block access, block it. If you need to return to prayer with your whole heart, kneel and return. If you need to stop using later as a hiding place, then let later die here. You asked for more commands, so take these final ones as a father's love with full authority. Do not postpone. Do not soften. Do not reinterpret. Do not call this too intense and then slip back into the familiar. Do not leave the room unchanged. Carry the truth into your next action immediately. Build something real around what I said. Make your response undeniable. Because I am not interested in leaving you inspired. I am interested in leaving you transformed. That is what this final moment is for. Come out of the shadows. Step fully into the light. Let this be the moment you finally moved. And now, my beloved child, before this closes, I want to speak to the deepest part of you, the part that may still be trembling, the part that knows what I am asking and feels both drawn and afraid. I know that part. I know the tremble behind your silence. I know the ache behind your hesitation. I know the thoughts that try to rise in these final moments. What if I fail again? What if this is harder than I think? What if I let go and feel exposed? What if I make the move and then miss what I had? What if I obey and the process hurts? I know those questions. I have heard them all through your heart long before they formed into words. And I want to answer them the way only I can. If you fail after beginning, I will meet you in the return. So do not use the fear of failure to avoid the dignity of starting. If it is harder than you think, I will still be stronger than what confronts you. So do not use difficulty as an excuse to keep carrying what is already draining you. If you feel exposed when you let go, my covering will become more real than the counterfeit you have been clinging to. So do not mistake exposure for abandonment. If you miss what was familiar, remember that familiarity is not the same as health. So do not let nostalgia seduce you back into what was wounding you. If the process hurts, let it be the pain that heals, not the pain that lingers in cycles you already know too well. My child, I want you to picture this and hold it close because it carries the whole message in one image. Imagine standing at the threshold of a room you have outgrown. The walls are tight. The air is stale. The furniture is arranged around your old coping, your old fear, your old delay, your old compromises, your old emotional patterns, your old hidden agreements. You know every corner. You know every shadow. You know where you usually sit when you want to avoid the truth. You know where the secret door is. You know how to survive there. And right in front of you, I am holding open another door. The room beyond it is brighter. It is cleaner. It has space to breathe. It is not empty. I am there. It is not cold. My presence is there. It is not uncertain in the way your fear says it is. It is prepared, held, covered, and waiting. But the doorway between the old room and the new one is narrow enough that you cannot carry all your old baggage through it. The box is labeled later. The box labeled what if. The box labeled false comfort. The box labeled secret access. The box labeled I'll change eventually. The box labeled God understands, so I can delay. The box labeled I need to feel peace first. The box labeled I'm under attack, while the gate stays open. You cannot carry those boxes through. The doorway will not accommodate them. My child, set them down. Set them down now. Put the box of delay on the floor. Put the box of excuses on the floor. Put the box of hidden agreements on the floor. Put the box of emotional dependency on the floor. Put the box of compromise on the floor. Then step through the door with empty hands. Come into the next room lighter. Come into the next room honest. Come into the next room without the backup plan. Come into the next room without the old script. Come into the next room without demanding that your feelings go first. Come into the next room because I am here and I have made this clear. This is my final invitation and my final command in this message. Move now. Not tomorrow. Not after one more cycle. Not after one more emotional moment. Now, choose the act. Take the step. Make the change. Break the agreement. Shut the door. Return to me fully. Let your yes become visible. Let your surrender become practical. Let your obedience become immediate. And when you do not stand there looking back at the old room as if you left treasure behind. You left clutter. You left bondage. You left erosion. You left confusion. You left delay. What is ahead is not a perfect life without challenge, but it is a cleaner life, a truer life, a freer life, a more aligned life, a life where your prayers and your actions stop fighting each other. I have been calling you to this all along. So take my hand. Step through the doorway. Let this be the moment you finally moved. Let this be the day your life stopped orbiting the same issue and started walking forward with me. I am here. I am ready. I am not waiting for your perfection. I am waiting for your yes. Give it to me now. My beloved child, you have heard my call to move, to step out of the old room and into the life I am preparing for you. And this is also a moment where your response can help others find that same doorway. This message you have received today is a flame, and when you support this work through super thanks, membership, or a PayPal gift in the description, you are adding oil to the lamp so the fire keeps burning for countless souls. I told you in Malachi 3:10, bring the whole tithe, and see if I will not open the windows of heaven, and I speak that promise over every heart that chooses generosity for my kingdom. What you release becomes a river that carries my word farther than you can see, touching lives you may never meet until eternity. Your giving becomes a seed, and I am the one who multiplies the harvest beyond what you imagine. This is not merely a donation. It is participation in the work of heaven moving across the earth. So if this message truly became the moment you move it, then let your faith take form in action. Support this mission now through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and step into this act of obedience today. And once you have responded, let your heart settle into the quiet that follows obedience. Faith in action is not meant to leave you restless. It draws you into a deeper peace. What you have released outward has already begun its journey, and now I draw you inward to rest with me. This is where movement gives way to stillness, where your spirit becomes aware of my nearness. So pause and breathe, because the same presence you chose to honor is now surrounding you gently. My beloved child, pause right where you are. Stop running. Stop worrying for just one moment. Take a deep, slow breath and feel my presence wrapping around you like a warm blanket on a cold night. You feel it in your chest, do you not? There is a quiet pause in your life right now. It is exactly like the heavy, deep stillness you feel just before a great storm breaks. Do not be afraid of this quiet. I am the one holding the loud winds back. I am the one creating this safe space for you. I am giving you this exact moment so you can finally hear my voice clearly. Wake up, my precious one. Shake off the thick, heavy slumber that this tired world has put you in. You have been walking through your days half asleep, simply surviving, simply reacting to the endless demands of life. But I created you for so much more than mere survival. I see exactly what is weighing you down. I know the crushing pressure at your job that makes your chest feel tight every single morning. I see the quiet, unspoken tensions in your family that you try to hide with a brave smile. I watch you carry the sharp, heavy fear of tomorrow, feeling completely overlooked by the people who should see your true value. Give those heavy burdens to me right now. You feel that tight knot in your stomach. That knot is not from me. Let us untie it together. You were never meant to carry the weight of the world on your own shoulders. Listen closely to me. Hear my voice rising above the loud, confusing clamor of the earth. The world shouts at you with demands, bills, expectations, and endless bad news. But I speak to you in a clear, steady, loving whisper. Focus your mind on my words. Open your tight hands and let go of the control you are trying so hard to hold. Allow my perfect, gentle peace to wash over your tired, racing mind. I am your safe place. I am your ultimate protector. Make a shift inside your heart today. Turn your face toward my warm light right now. Do not wait for a better day. Do not tell yourself that you will seek me when things calm down, or when you finally feel ready. Let me tell you the absolute truth. Later is a lie. Later is a trap designed to keep you stuck where you are. The world promises tomorrow, but I am giving you today. The enemy of your soul wants you to wait forever, but I urge you to take immediate action now. Do not trade the divine power of now for the empty promise of later. This very second is a holy gift. Step out of the dark, cold shadows and walk boldly into my bright, healing truth. Go into your quiet room. Shut the door to the loud, demanding world. Take this first, simple step of obedience in the secret place. Meet me where no one else is watching. You do not need to find the perfect words. You do not need to clean yourself up before you come to me. Just come to me exactly as you are right this second. Bring your messy thoughts. Bring your secret doubts. Bring your broken pieces and your hidden tears. I am ready to hold you. I am ready to put you back together. I am declaring over you right now that a brand new season of your life is starting today. My precious child, open your eyes and look closely at the world around you. You can feel it deep within your bones, can you not? There is a heavy, undeniable shift happening in the spiritual atmosphere right now. I know you watch the news and feel a tight, anxious knot form in your chest. I see you looking at the endless changes, the confusion, and the chaos of this world, and I know it makes you feel deeply unsettled. But I am asking you today to stop looking at this world with your physical eyes alone. Align your vision with my eternal perspective. I want you to see what I see. What feels like total chaos to your human mind is actually the powerful, turning wheel of my divine transition. The season is changing. The prophetic clock is ticking loudly, and it is calling you to move. I urge you to look closer at your own daily life. You think the deep frustration you feel at your job is just normal stress, but it is not. That holy discomfort is a clear sign from me. You think the sudden distance in your friendships or the quiet tension in your family is just a coincidence. But I am using these very things to shake you awake. These are the visible fruits of a world in deep transition. I am deliberately making you uncomfortable where you are, because I need you to understand that you cannot stay here anymore. A bird cannot stay in the nest forever. Eventually, it must be pushed out so it can finally learn to fly. I am nudging you out of your safe, familiar places because the time to fly is right now. Step away from the noise and tune your heart to my frequency. Move beyond what you can merely touch and see. I am granting you deep spiritual insight today. I want you to look at the people you pass by every single day, your coworkers, your neighbors, the stranger at the store. Do not just see their faces, see their tired, hungry souls. The harvest is already white, my child. There are people all around you who are desperate for the exact love, peace, and hope that I have placed inside of you. If you keep waiting for a special sign in the sky, you will miss the urgent need standing right in front of your face. Do you hear my gentle, firm command? I am telling you to rise up. Recognize the profound importance of this very moment. I have strategically placed you in your exact city, in your exact job, and in your exact family for a reason. Your presence there is not an accident. You are my chosen vessel for this specific hour. So take a deep breath, lift your heavy head, and step forward with absolute confidence. I am walking right beside you, and I am revealing the hidden signs of this season to your open heart. Trust my perfect timing, and do not delay your obedience for another second. My beloved one, listen to me very carefully. It is time to shatter the heavy, rusted chains of procrastination that are holding you back. I know exactly what you tell yourself in the quiet of the night. I hear the endless excuses echoing in your mind. You tell yourself, I will start when the kids are older, or I will step out in faith when I have more money saved, or I will finally do what God asked when I feel fully prepared. My child, I must tell you the absolute truth. Waiting for the perfect time is a subtle, dangerous trap set by the enemy. There will never be a day when the winds are perfectly calm and the seas are perfectly flat. If you wait for the perfect conditions, you will spend your entire life standing on the shore, watching your divine destiny sail away without you. I see the deep, paralyzing fear that grips your heart. I know you are terrified of failing. I know you worry about what your friends and family will say if you take a bold leap. You are afraid of looking foolish. But I command you today to overcome this worldly fear. Renounce this heavy spirit of delay that has attached itself to your life. Every single time you hesitate, every single time you say tomorrow, you are actively hindering the beautiful, rushing flow of my blessings. I have miracles waiting for you, but they are waiting on the other side of your obedience. Your hesitation is a locked door. Your immediate action is the key that turns the lock. Do not let the enemy steal one more day of your precious life. Reclaim the time that has been taken from you. You may feel like you have wasted years wandering in circles, but I am the God who restores. I can take your delayed obedience and turn it into sudden, miraculous momentum. But you must make the choice right now. You must step out in absolute faith, even before the path is fully visible to your eyes. Imagine walking into a dark, foggy forest. You want me to show you the entire map all the way to the end, but I am only giving you a small lantern. That lantern only provides enough bright light for your very next step. I am asking you to take that single step. When you move your foot, the light will move with you, revealing the next piece of solid ground. Do not sit in the dark complaining that you cannot see the destination. I am your destination. I am your safe guide. Break free from the illusion of later. I urge you to move your feet today. Stand up, shake off the heavy dust of your endless excuses, and walk boldly into the unknown with me. My precious heir, why do you walk through your days with your shoulders slumped and your head down? Why do you allow the world to make you feel so incredibly small? Look at me right now. I need you to deeply understand your true identity. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are not defined by the rejection you felt in your past, nor are you defined by the constant pressure you feel at your job today. You are my deeply beloved child, and you are a royal heir to my eternal kingdom. I have not left you empty-handed in this hard, demanding world. I have bestowed upon you a divine, unbreakable authority. I have placed the mighty power of my Holy Spirit inside your very chest. The exact same explosive power that rolled the heavy stone away and raised Jesus from the dead is currently living and breathing inside of you. Yet, you still listen to the dark whispers of inadequacy. You hear that lying voice telling you that you are not smart enough, that you are too old, that you are too young, or that you simply do not have what it takes. I command you to stand firm against those lies right now. When the world tells you that you are weak, I declare that my grace is completely sufficient for you. I do my absolute best work in the middle of your human weakness. I am handing you the heavy, golden keys of the kingdom today. I am giving you the divine authority to open massive doors of opportunity that no human being can ever shut. When you walk into that stressful office meeting, I want you to know that I am walking in right behind you. When you face that difficult conversation with your family, I am standing fiercely by your side. You are never, ever fighting your battles alone. You have the total, backing power of the Creator of the universe. Stop shrinking back to make other people feel comfortable. Stop hiding the brilliant light I have placed inside of you. I invite you to rise up and use the authority I have freely given you. Speak to the towering mountains of debt, anxiety, and sickness in your life, and command them to move in my mighty name. Do not beg the darkness to leave. Command the darkness to flee. You carry my royal bloodline. You carry my unstoppable truth. Walk into your day today with your head held high, completely confident in the staggering power of the Holy Spirit that surrounds you like an impenetrable shield. My child, stop for a moment and look closely at your own hands. What are you holding onto so tightly? What are you exhausting yourself trying to build? I watch you run the endless, tiring race of this modern world. I see you waking up early and staying up late, stressing over bills, chasing after promotions, and trying so hard to impress people who will forget your name in 100 years. You are pouring your best energy, your best time, and your best thoughts into things that will eventually fade away into dust. I urge you today to realign your completely exhausted heart. I invite you to prioritize my eternal kingdom above all the fading treasures of this earth. I want you to seek my face before you seek anything else. When you wake up in the morning, before you immediately grab your phone to look at the stressful news, before you check your endless messages, turn your mind to me. Drop the heavy, meaningless distractions that are stealing your precious peace. You are constantly scrolling, constantly consuming, constantly numbing your mind because you are trying to fill a deep, aching void inside your chest. But that void has the exact shape of my presence. Nothing else will ever fit. Nothing else will ever bring you the deep, resting satisfaction you are so desperately searching for. Let go of the heavy baggage that leads to nowhere. I am calling you to invest your brief, beautiful life in what is eternal and true. Do not misunderstand me. I know you have a family to feed and a job to do. But I am asking you to change your heart's primary heartbeat. Make my holy will your deepest desire. When you go to work, do not just work for a paycheck. Work as a glowing representative of my love to your broken coworkers. Sacrifice the mundane, ordinary way of living for the sake of something holy and magnificent. I promise you this. If you actively seek my kingdom first, I will take care of every single detail you are currently worrying about. I will provide the money you need. I will protect your children. I will guide your future. But I need your completely undivided heart. I need you to stop living with one foot in my presence and one foot in the noisy world. Make a firm, immediate decision today. Declare that from this moment forward, I am your ultimate priority. When you finally surrender your tight grip on the world, you will discover the boundless, joyful freedom of resting securely in my providing hands. My child, do not turn away from my voice just yet. If you close your heart now and walk back into the loud, chaotic world, it deeply grieves my spirit. I have so much more of my massive, eternal plan to reveal to you today. Leaving now would be like walking away just before the dawn breaks, choosing the cold darkness over my blinding, warm light. Stay with me, please. Do not halt this journey home. Keep listening, for the massive breakthrough I am handing you is only just beginning to unfold. My beautiful child, come close to me right now. Do not run away. Do not hide your face in shame. I see the heavy guilt you are dragging behind you. I know about the hidden sins, the secret habits you run to when the pain and pressure of life feel entirely too heavy to bear. You think that your mistakes have disqualified you from my love. You think that if you just try a little harder to be perfect, you can eventually earn your way back into my good graces. But I am asking you to drop that exhausting burden today. Turn your tired heart back to me this very moment. I am urgently calling you to the beautiful, refreshing waters of repentance. Do not view repentance as a harsh, angry punishment. Repentance is simply a loving father cleaning the deep, infected wounds of his crying child. It is the immediate, joyful removal of the massive barriers standing between us. I want to cleanse your vessel so I can fill it to the very brim with my new wine, but I cannot pour clean water into a cup filled with toxic dirt. You must willingly hand the dirt over to me. Acknowledge the deep, hidden things. Speak them out loud to me in your quiet room. Do not let the enemy use your secrets to blackmail your soul with fear and shame anymore. I am offering you a profound, immediate refreshing that only comes through total, absolute surrender. Return to the pure, simple joy of your first love with me. Remember what it felt like when you first realized I love you unconditionally. But love has never, ever changed. My mercies are brand new for you this very morning. They are deeper than the deepest ocean and wider than the farthest horizon. I urge you to take immediate action. Do not say, I will clean up my act tomorrow. Tomorrow is not promised to you. The time to wash your hands and purify your divided heart is right now. Step out of the dark, suffocating room of your hidden struggles and walk straight into the blinding, warm light of my total forgiveness. I am not standing here with a heavy stick to beat you. I am standing here with my arms spread wide open, waiting to embrace you. Let my overwhelming mercy wash over your mind, your body, and your spirit today. Surrender everything to me, and I will give you back a heart that is completely whole, deeply joyful, and entirely free. My beloved child, look closely at how you are stepping out of your front door every single morning. I watch you walk into the loud, demanding battleground of your daily life completely unprotected and utterly exhausted. You are trying to fight spiritual battles using only your fragile human strength, and it is leaving you drained, anxious, and deeply wounded. I see the harsh words spoken by a coworker that cut you like a knife. I see the heavy financial stress that sits on your chest like a massive boulder. I see the cruel, lying gossip that makes you want to hide in the dark. You feel entirely defenseless against these daily attacks, but I have never sent you into this hard world without the proper defense. I command you today to stop fighting barehanded. I urge you to deliberately put on the heavy, shining spiritual armor I have freely provided for you. Gird your waist right now with the solid, unbreakable belt of my truth. The enemy constantly whispers dark lies into your tired mind, telling you that you are a massive failure, that you are completely alone, and that your future is entirely hopeless. But I picked you on purpose to do something really important. My truth is the only reality that matters. Protect your fragile, beating heart with my heavy breastplate of righteousness. You spend so much time beating yourself up over your past mistakes, replaying your failures late into the night. I command you to drop that heavy guilt right this second. Forget about the old hurts, they're gone, and I've forgiven all your mistakes. You are completely covered by my grace, and no accusation from the enemy can ever penetrate that holy shield. Ensure your tired feet are wrapped tightly in the sturdy shoes of my peace. You have been running away from your problems, pacing the floors in absolute panic, but I am calling you to stand your ground with divine calmness. Do not let the sudden storms of your workplace or the deep tensions in your family steal your footing. Take up the massive, protective shield of faith to actively block the fiery darts of the enemy. Those sudden spikes of panic you feel, those unexpected bills that terrify you, those overwhelming moments of deep sadness, these are deliberate arrows aimed at your mind. Raise your shield high and declare that I am in total control of your life. Arm yourself with the shield of faith and the sword of my word. Grasp the sharp, heavy sword of the Spirit, which is my living word. Stop accepting defeat and start speaking my powerful promises out loud into the empty air of your room. When the fear of tomorrow tries to paralyze your throat, swing that sword and declare that I am your ultimate provider. Stay deeply rooted in fervent prayer as your constant, unbreakable lifeline to my throne. Do not suffer in silence for one more day. Ask me anything you desire, call out to me, and I will surely respond. I am listening to every single sigh and every single tear. Put on your armor today, stand tall like the royal warrior you truly are, and walk confidently into your day knowing I am fighting fiercely by your side. My precious one, I see you clinging so desperately to the safe, shallow edge of the shore. You have built a tiny, predictable life for yourself because you are absolutely terrified of the deep, unknown waters. I know you stay in that deeply unfulfilling job because it pays the bills and feels familiar. I watch you remain in situations and relationships that quietly drain your spirit because you are too afraid of the painful disruption that change will bring. But I must tell you the absolute truth today. Your comfort zone is slowly becoming your spiritual prison. You shouldn't stick around in any situation that brings you down or embarrasses you. You are free, so step out of any situation that feels like a prison. I did not create you to live a small, fearful, restricted life. I am actively calling you out into the deep, rushing waters where your feet can no longer touch the bottom. Yes, the massive waves look incredibly terrifying to your human eyes. Yes, the sudden wind is howling loudly in your ears. But you must firmly trust my steady hand when the dark waters begin to rise all around you. You want a massive, life-changing miracle, but miracles do not ever happen on the safe, dry sand. Miracles only happen when you are entirely dependent on my supernatural power to keep you from sinking. I command you to shed the heavy, suffocating safety of the known and bravely embrace the spectacular glory of the unknown. Do not let the paralyzing fear of failure stop you from taking this necessary leap. You worry constantly about what will happen to your family, how you will pay your heavy debts, and what people will whisper behind your back if you fail. I will rescue you and raise you up. You will be defeated or humiliated. I am the one charting your course, and I have already seen the beautiful destination. The deep discomfort you are feeling in your spirit right now is entirely holy. It is the painful, necessary stretching of your faith. I am expanding your capacity to receive the staggering blessings I have prepared for you. Step out of the boat today. Move your trembling feet over the hard edge and place them onto the crashing waves. Look directly into my eyes and ignore the violent storm raging around your head. I have grand plans to use you as a living testament to the boundless power of your omnipotent God. Your life is a journey filled with delightful surprises, abundant opportunities, and growth that leads to greater achievements. Leave the familiar shore behind you forever. I am calling you to a profound, breathtaking adventure of faith, and I promise you that the magnificent rewards waiting in the deep water will completely wash away every fear you have ever held. My deeply loved child, do you realize that your delayed obedience is actually a subtle form of stubborn resistance? I speak a clear, quiet instruction into your heart, and I watch you immediately start negotiating with me. I tell you to forgive that family member who hurt you so deeply, and you tell me you will do it when the painful sting finally fades. Let go of all hatred and desire for revenge. I ask you to step away from the toxic habit, and you promise me you will quit tomorrow. I urge you to make that difficult phone call or to finally start that project I placed in your spirit, and you push it to the bottom of your busy schedule. I command you today to stop putting my holy requests on hold. Understand this vital truth. The staggering blessing I have for your life is completely attached to your swift, immediate yes, Lord. When you hesitate, when you drag your feet, you are actively blocking the beautiful, rushing river of my divine provision. You think you are protecting yourself by waiting until you feel completely ready, but you are only prolonging your own deep frustration and anxiety. Your immediate action is the heavy, golden key that unlocks the very next level of my magnificent plan for your life. You will experience abundance and success in your endeavors with me by your side. I am not asking you to figure out all the complicated details before you take the first step. I simply converse with me, and I shall illuminate your path, enabling you to make the right decision. Look at the faithful men and women in the scriptures who dropped their heavy fishing nets the exact second they were called. They did not ask for a detailed, 5-year plan. They simply recognized the absolute authority of my voice and moved their feet. I am asking for that exact same radical, immediate response from you today. Do not wait for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment is the exact second you hear my voice. Experience the profound, washing peace that instantly floods your soul when your stubborn heart finally aligns with my gentle command. You have been carrying the heavy, exhausting weight of an unmade decision for entirely too long. I am acting in your favor, guiding you to the abundant life I've planned for you. Put down your endless excuses right now. Turn your fleeting, emotional inspiration into solid, holy manifestation by simply doing the very next right thing I have asked of you. Say yes to me today, and watch how quickly I move the massive mountains that have been standing in your way for years. My beautiful creation, stop and take a deep, honest inventory of the incredible, unique gifts I have carefully placed inside of you. I did not design you to simply wake up, pay your bills, and exist in a state of quiet, numbing survival. I have planted seeds of profound brilliance, deep compassion, and unique ability into your very DNA. You are the finest piece of work I've ever created, the most valuable to me. Yet I watch you bury your massive potential in the cold, hard dirt of your own insecurity. You look at others and think they are more qualified, more spoken, or more talented, and you convince yourself that you have absolutely nothing valuable to offer my kingdom. I command you to stop insulting my careful craftsmanship. I know the tough times you're enduring, feeling like you're running out of strength. But the deep fear of failure is a vicious thief trying to steal the powerful impact you are meant to have on this dark world. You do not need a massive public platform or millions of dollars to multiply the gifts I have given you. Use the power, intelligence, wisdom, and grace I've instilled within you. I am calling you to be intensely faithful in the small, seemingly insignificant things today. How you love your difficult child, how you diligently manage that boring spreadsheet at work, how you speak a word of warm encouragement to a tired cashier. These are the exact places where your holy talents are meant to violently shine. Do not wait until you feel like a perfect, polished expert to start serving. I am the one who decides your future, and I want you to move forward and claim the spiritual blessings I've got for you. Start utilizing your unique gifts right exactly where you are standing. If I gave you the ability to organize, then bring my divine order to the chaos in your home. If I gave you a heart of deep empathy, then sit quietly with the broken-hearted person in your office. Your efforts will flourish your labor dedication, and every seed of faith you plant will grow and yield plentiful harvests. You will one day stand before my glorious throne to give a joyful account of how you used the precious time and talents I handed to you. This is not meant to fill you with heavy dread, but to ignite a raging, passionate fire inside your soul. You are carrying massive, untapped power. Dig up your buried treasures today. Wipe the dirty fear off of them, lift them up to my light, and ask me to boldly multiply them. Unleash your unique, staggering purpose for my ultimate glory, and watch how I use your small, faithful offerings to completely change the world around you. My precious child, just as I have called you to boldly unleash your unique talents, I am now inviting you to radically steward the very resources I have placed in your hands to violently advance my kingdom today. I am looking for faithful partners to carry this blazing torch of truth, ensuring that my urgent, life-saving word reaches the terrified souls wandering in the dark. This is not a random request. It is a direct, divine appointment for you to take immediate action and sow your holy seed right now. For I declare to you, just as I commanded the widow's oil to multiply, give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Plant your precious seed into this fertile soil today, and watch how I use it as a rushing river of hope for the deeply broken-hearted. I promise to fiercely protect your finances, multiply your harvest, and pour out a breathtaking abundance that your earthly hands cannot contain. Step into this divine partnership immediately by clicking the Super Thanks button, becoming a member of this channel, or using the PayPal link in the description. Do not hesitate for another second. Give your sacred offering now, and let us rescue the perishing together. My precious one, are you tempted to stop listening? I see the heavy exhaustion trying to pull you away, but it would deeply disappoint my heart to watch you leave this holy encounter incomplete. I am actively pulling you out of your deep troubles, and to walk away now is to surrender to the very fear I am violently destroying. I didn't cause your troubles, but I promise you I'll pull you out of them with my strong hand. Give me your absolute attention for a few moments longer. Your ultimate victory requires you to stay closely tethered to my voice. My courageous warrior, why do you allow the dark, suffocating shadow of fear to sit directly at your family table? I watch you lying wide awake at 3 in the morning, staring blankly at the dark ceiling while your heart races violently in your chest. You are mentally playing out every single worst-case scenario. You are terrified that the money will run out, terrified that the scary medical test will come back positive, and terrified that your children will wander down the wrong, destructive path. I see the tough times you're enduring, but I must speak a loud, unshakable truth into your panic right now. I have never, ever given you a crippling spirit of fear. That suffocating dread is a direct, lying attack from the enemy of your soul. I command you to actively draw massive strength from my perfect, unconditional love, which forcefully casts out all fear. Beneath my wings you are sheltered, my hands steadfastly upholding you. When the loud what-ifs start screaming in your tired mind, I want you to aggressively silence them with my eternal I am. What if you lose that job? I am your ultimate provider. What if you fall sick? I am your divine healer. What if you fail entirely? I am your strong redeemer. I'll never leave your side. My angels will watch over you, keeping you safe. You are so deeply protected that nothing can ever touch your soul without my explicit permission. You are standing in front of massive, intimidating giants right now. I see the giant of crushing debt, the giant of deep depression, and the giant of broken family relationships mocking you every single day. Stop trembling in the dusty valley. I grant you the strength to conquer giants. Pick up the smooth, hard stones of my unbreakable promises and hurl them directly at the head of your fears. Do not wait for the physical shaking in your hands to completely stop before you step forward. Courage is not the total absence of fear. Courage is violently moving forward despite the heavy trembling of your human flesh. Never doubt me, for I am the only faithful God. No matter what happens, I will never leave you alone. I am the Lord your God, your steadfast protector, and your haven amid the tempests of life. Stop doubting, give me your worries, and I'll bear them for you. Take a deep, slow breath right now and physically release the tight tension in your shoulders. Exhale the dark, toxic panic and inhale my profound, unshakable peace. Walk out of your door today with the absolute, fierce confidence of a child whose father owns the entire universe, and watch your pathetic fears scatter like dry dust in the wind. My cherished child, I see how violently your attention is pulled in 1,000 different directions every single day. You are trying to serve your career, please your family, maintain your image, and still find a few leftover minutes to offer to me. I see the heavy exhaustion in your eyes from trying to live this divided life. You are attempting to walk on two completely different paths at the exact same time, and it is tearing your soul apart. Today, I command you to stop this exhausting double-mindedness. Bring me the scattered, fragmented pieces of your devotion right now. I understand you felt lost and alone many times, as if you've lost your way. But I am here to gather every broken piece of your attention and bind your heart securely to mine with unbreakable cords of divine love. Look closely at the decisions you make when no one else is watching. You profess my name on Sunday, but by Tuesday, your heart is entirely consumed by the frantic, striving panic of the world. This divided heart is the exact reason you feel so deeply unstable, so quickly shaken by every piece of bad news. I urge you to eliminate the toxic double-mindedness that leads to such painful instability. Let my profound love fill the emptiness that lingers in your heart. I assure you, my child, all will be well soon. You will discover that my kindness is sweeter than honey. I want all of you, not just the polished fragments you think are acceptable. Focus your wandering spiritual eyes entirely on the narrow gate. The world offers you wide, comfortable, easy roads that quietly lead to absolute emptiness, but I am calling you to a single-minded, passionate pursuit of my holy presence. Pause right now and physically place your hand over your chest. Feel the erratic rhythm of your divided heart and ask me to calm it. My love for you has never changed. I love you completely and forever, no matter how much you stray or stumble. I'm always right here waiting for you to come back to me. I'm asking for your total, absolute consecration today. Do not give me the leftover scraps of your time and energy. Make me the undeniable center of your marriage, the absolute foundation of your career, and the deepest desire of your private thoughts. When you finally stop trying to love the loud world and love me at the same time, you will experience a staggering, overwhelming wholeness. I will mend the deep divisions inside your mind. I will heal the frantic anxiety that plagues your nights. Take a deep breath and surrender your deeply divided loyalties right this second. I am actively working in your life toward complete fulfillment. I will never abandon you. Allow my light to brighten your path and my love to heal your spirit. Every step you take towards me fills you with comfort, strength, and hope. Stop letting the fleeting opinions of others dictate your daily choices. I am the only audience that truly matters. Anchor your entire existence in my truth alone, and watch how the frustrating instability of your life instantly transforms into a solid, unshakable foundation of pure, radiant faith. My bold and courageous watchman, I have not given you my blinding light simply so you can hide it under a heavy basket in the safety of your own living room. I have strategically placed you on the high wall of your family, your workplace, and your community? Do you see the deep, heavy darkness creeping into the lives of the people you love? You watch your friends drowning in loud despair, your coworkers paralyzed by silent anxiety, and your neighbors walking aimlessly without any hope. I have given you the profound responsibility to alert them to the coming dawn. You must actively speak the hard, beautiful truth in absolute love, without a single ounce of cowardly compromise. I have grand plans to use you as a living testament to the boundless power of your omnipotent God. I know exactly why you hesitate. You feel the crushing, intimidating weight of the message I have entrusted to you. You are terrified of being rejected, mocked, or deeply misunderstood by the very people you are trying to help. But I command you today to completely shed that paralyzing fear. Let others seek you out and see my reflection in you. I desire to work through you, extending your hands to heal the sick and feed the hungry. Do not be ashamed of my gospel in this dark, confusing age. Your silence is not keeping the peace. Your silence is quietly allowing the enemy to steal the souls of the people standing right in front of you. Open your mouth and let me fill it with my exact, piercing words. I am calling you to be a blazing, undeniable beacon of massive hope in a world drowning in complete despair. When everyone else around you is complaining about the terrifying economy, the corrupt politics, and the endless tragedies, I want you to boldly speak my eternal promises. I want all your family and friends to be astonished by the transformation in your character. They will look upon you and testify to my reality and my ability to aid them. You are the one carrying the living water. Do not withhold it from those who are dying of spiritual thirst right next to you. Stand firmly on the wall and absolutely refuse to be silent. I have equipped you with everything you need. Stand firm, arm yourself with the shield of faith and the sword of my word. Immerse yourself in the scriptures and keep your heart fervent in faith. The forces of darkness will retreat as your blessings unfold. I will give you the exact courage to have those awkward, difficult conversations. I will give you the supernatural compassion to love the unlovable people in your office. Your life is not an accident, and your voice is desperately needed right now. Take up your divine post today. Blow the warning trumpet with absolute, unwavering clarity, and watch how I miraculously use your simple, terrified obedience to pull the people you deeply love directly out of the fire. My precious, waiting child, I want you to critically examine the exact way you wake up every single morning. Do you open your eyes with a heavy, exhausted sigh, already dreading the endless, boring routines of your day? Or do you wake up with your heart pounding in fierce, joyful anticipation, knowing that today could be the very day I entirely change your life? I urge you to urgently cultivate a deep, burning sense of divine expectancy. I am commanding you to live each and every day as if my hand is currently resting directly on the doorknob of your life, ready to burst in. I am acting in your favor, guiding you to the abundant life I've planned for you since the beginning of time. You must actively prepare the messy room of your heart for my sudden visitation. You cannot expect me to pour massive, overwhelming miracles into a mind that is constantly cluttered with toxic complaints, bitter grudges, and tiny, pathetic worldly distractions. Clear the heavy, dusty debris right now. Sweep out the dark corners of your secret doubts. I encourage you to start each day with a prayer asking for my blessing. Whenever you're feeling weak or scared, know that I'm there to refresh your faith, strength, and hope. Watch the horizon of your life and pray with a fiercely passionate, fervent spirit. I want you to feel the electrifying excitement of seeing my powerful hand move in real time, right in the middle of your perfectly ordinary Tuesday afternoon. Do not let the long, frustrating delay put your spiritual fire completely to sleep. Refuse to let your lamp run out of oil while you wait in the dark. You have waited for so long for that prodigal child to return, for that heavy debt to be cleared, for that deep, chronic sickness to finally lift. I know you are incredibly tired of believing. I hear the ache in your heart. I listen to your soul's deep cries. But I assure you, the massive breakthrough you are desperately praying for is already actively in motion. Every step you take in faith towards me brings you closer to the peace and freedom you seek. Anticipate the good that is to enter your life, blessings you've never even imagined. Look at the sky, look at the trees, look at the closed doors in front of you, and actively expect them to violently blow open by my command. Stop walking through your days expecting disappointment. When you expect nothing, you are actively insulting the staggering, infinite power of your Creator. I am the God of the sudden, massive shift. I am the God of the 11th hour rescue. Fill your heart with raging, uncontainable hope today. Keep your eyes wide open, keep your spirit fiercely alert, and stand on your absolute tiptoes in divine expectation. The exact miracle you have been quietly weeping over is much, much closer than you could ever possibly dare to believe. My deeply loved believer, I am calling you right this very second to completely abandon your safe, predictable human logic. You are constantly trying to calculate your life using only what your physical eyes can see and your physical hands can touch. You look at your shrinking bank account, your frightening medical report, and your broken relationships, and your human logic loudly screams that the situation is entirely, utterly impossible. But I am commanding you to move aggressively beyond the shallow, limited realm of logic and step directly into the profound, infinite realm of my Holy Spirit. I am calling you to a radical, dangerous, unshakable faith. Trust in my power to transform your reality and to open doors that seem closed. I want you to aggressively believe in the absolute impossible, simply because I am the way, the truth, and the life. Your human mind demands hard evidence before it will take a single step. But I am telling you that the firm evidence of things not seen must act as your only guide. Take the terrifying leap off the edge of your comfort right now, knowing with absolute certainty that I am the one waiting at the bottom to catch you. Doubt not what I tell you today. I will work for your good even in your most challenging circumstances. So trust in me with all your heart and not in your own understanding. You possess a faith that is deeply capable of violently moving towering mountains and entirely shifting the trajectory of your family's destiny, yet you are currently using it to barely scrape by. Cease to lean on humanity and place all your faith and hope in me, for only I can revive what was dead and make a way where there seems to be none. Stop playing it incredibly safe. Stop asking me for tiny, reasonable favors that you could probably accomplish on your own. I am daring you today to ask me for something so massive, so completely outrageous, that if I do not step in and do it, you will absolutely fail. Demonstrate my staggering power to the dark world through your own unwavering, ridiculous trust. Pause and examine the massive giant standing directly in your path today. Do not look at its terrifying height or its heavy armor. Look past it, directly into my blazing eyes. I am telling you that this giant is already entirely defeated. Do not be disheartened by the obstacles you encounter, for each challenge is an opportunity for growth and fortification. Remember, every experience, however painful, serves a role in my divine plan for you. Take a deep breath. Ignore the loud screaming of your logical, panicked brain, and step forward into the raging fire. Radical faith is not the absence of doubt. Radical faith is taking the step while your knees are violently knocking together. Give me your absolute, blind trust today, and I will show you a spectacular display of my divine power that will leave you completely and utterly breathless. Beloved, stay right here in my presence. Do not let the heavy distractions of this noisy world snatch away the profound revelation I am pouring into your soul. It pains me to see my children turn their backs just when the massive, heavy chains are about to shatter. Don't turn back, you've come so far. Don't let your past efforts, tears, and battles go to waste at this moment. I am orchestrating a spectacular miracle for your life, but you must remain with me to fully receive it. Honor my deep love for you by fiercely holding on to my every word. My cherished, growing branch, I know exactly how deeply the sharp cuts of this current season are hurting you. You are crying out to me, asking why I am allowing such painful loss in your life. You do not understand why that close friendship suddenly ended, why that comfortable job was abruptly taken away, or why that long-held dream violently shattered in your hands. But I need you to pause right now and completely change the way you see this intense pain. You think you are being punished, but you are actually being intensely, lovingly pruned. Allow me to decisively remove what no longer serves the health of your eternal soul. My dear child, understand that each tear you shed plants a seed of transformation. Every murmur of pain opens a door to grow in compassion and insight. The sharp, precise cut of my shears is an absolute necessity for the sake of your future harvest. You have been clinging so tightly to dead, useless branches in your life simply because they feel familiar. You are holding on to toxic relationships, dead-end routines, and heavy, bitter resentments that are quietly sucking the vital life directly out of your spirit. I am cutting them away right now. You must fiercely trust me as your master gardener during this confusing season of loss. I never, ever cut you to harm you. I only cut away the dead wood to prepare you for a staggering level of absolute abundance that you haven't even begun to know. In times of uncertainty and adversity, maintain your faith in me and in my ability to perform miracles in your life. I know the pruning process feels incredibly violent and confusing to your human flesh. It feels like you are losing everything that matters. But I promise you, the breathtaking beauty that emerges from this holy discipline will completely outweigh your current tears. Through adversities, I am molding your character and shaping your spirit to reflect my light and love to the world. You cannot carry the massive, heavy fruit of tomorrow on the weak, diseased branches of yesterday. Your only job right now is to stay desperately, tightly connected to me, the true vine, during this painful process. Do not pull away from me in anger or deep resentment. Do not let your sudden grief turn into a hard, bitter wall between us. When storms rage fiercely around you, trust that I am there to shelter you. Remember, amidst trials and tribulations, you are enveloped in my unconditional love and restorative grace. Bleed into my hands. Let me bind up the fresh wounds where the dead things used to be attached. Surrender to the sharp cut today, absolutely knowing that I am fiercely protecting your future. The spectacular, heavy harvest of joy, peace, and massive impact that is coming to your life will prove that every single, painful cut was a profound act of my perfect, unwavering love. My precious child, stop for a moment and look at the clock on your wall. Watch the hands ticking away, second by second, minute by minute. I want you to truly feel the weight of passing time right now. I see how incredibly exhausted you are at the end of every single day. You collapse into your bed feeling entirely depleted, yet you look back at your day and wonder what you actually accomplished. You are caught in a frantic, dizzying cycle of pure busyness, but you are completely missing true, godly fruitfulness. You wake up rushing, you drive to work rushing, you eat your meals rushing, and you go to sleep with a racing mind, completely stressed about everything you have to do tomorrow. I command you today to urgently audit the hours I have generously gifted to you. I gave you this beautiful, brief life to build a lasting legacy, not to simply survive a chaotic schedule. Rescue your precious schedule from the greedy hands of the enemy right now. The world has convinced you that if you are not constantly moving, constantly producing, and constantly stressing, you are falling behind. But that is a heavy, suffocating lie. I am asking you to physically slow down today. Step out of the frantic current of modern life and find the absolute sanctity of the present moment in my warm presence. You are trading the holy, eternal moments of your life for cheap, meaningless distractions. You spend hours staring blindly at your glowing phone screen, numbing your tired mind with the highlight reels of other people's lives, while the actual, beautiful life I have placed right in front of you is quietly slipping through your fingers. Take a deep breath and reclaim your time today. I urge you to start saying a firm, unapologetic no to the good things so you can finally say a passionate yes to the absolute best things. You do not have to attend every single gathering, answer every single demanding email the second it arrives, or carry the heavy expectations of everyone around you. Your time is a sacred, holy currency, and I want you to spend it building something that will last forever. Look at your children. Look at your spouse. Look at the broken neighbor next door. Spend your hours pouring my deep love into their empty hearts. Shift your focus from surviving the week to making a massive, eternal impact. Give your mornings to me before you give them to the loud, demanding world. Let my words be the first to stir your heart and set the tone for your day. When you sit in the quiet with me, I will stretch your time. I will give you the divine wisdom to know exactly what actually matters and what is simply a noisy distraction. Let go of the desperate need to control every single minute. Do not waste time on trivial matters. Focus on me, on my promises, and all that I am ready to give you. Hand your heavy calendar over to me right this second. Allow me to perfectly order your busy steps, and you will suddenly find a deep, unshakable peace in the beautiful, unhurried rhythm of my perfect grace. My deeply loved child, look closely at the people standing to your left and to your right. You have been walking through this difficult life feeling incredibly isolated, totally convinced that you are the only one struggling with such heavy, secret burdens. I watch you walk into a crowded room and still feel entirely alone. You hide your deep financial fears, your crushing anxiety, and your silent family struggles behind a stiff, polite smile. But I am telling you today that you were never, ever meant to carry this heavy load by yourself. You are a vital, indispensable part of my living body, and I am urgently calling you to actively strengthen the brothers and sisters I have placed all around you. I urge you to reach out your hand right now. Do not wait for someone else to make the first move. There is a person in your life right this very minute who is quietly drowning in absolute despair, severely tempted to completely give up on everything. They are desperately praying for a tiny sign of hope, and I want to use your exact voice to be that life-saving sign. Send that encouraging text message. Make that difficult phone call. Walk across the street and genuinely ask your neighbor how they are actually doing. The collective, earth-shaking power of a church that moves, breathes, and loves as one united family is completely unstoppable by any force of darkness. Stop hiding in the safe, comfortable shadows of your own private life. I am commanding you to actively bear the heavy burdens of the people around you in this urgent, critical hour. When you see a brother struggling with a crushing job loss, do not just offer a quick, empty cliché. Step into their messy reality. Bring them a hot meal, pray violently over their anxious mind, and stand firmly in the massive gap for them until they are strong enough to stand on their own. This amazing journey starts now, so I encourage you to join me every morning to listen. I want you to ignite a raging, passionate fire in the cold hearts of others through your own burning, undeniable devotion to me. You must intentionally model the true, sacrificial life of my son. People in this dark, cynical world are incredibly tired of hearing loud, empty words. They are absolutely starving to see a living, breathing demonstration of my unconditional love. Let everyone see that you are my cherished child. When you choose to forgive the person who deeply offended you, when you choose to share your hard-earned money with someone who cannot pay you back, you are proving that my kingdom is entirely real. Rise up today and look around you with my compassionate eyes. Link your arms tightly with the broken believers around you, and march forward into the dark battlefield as one unified, invincible army of pure, blinding light. My precious, listening child, pause right where you are and simply listen to the atmosphere around you. The world you live in is incredibly, violently loud. From the exact moment you open your tired eyes in the morning to the moment you finally close them at night, you are bombarded by a chaotic hurricane of conflicting voices. The news screams terrifying predictions about the economy. Social media shouts that you are not wealthy enough, not attractive enough, and not successful enough. Even your own anxious mind loudly whispers that you are running entirely out of time. I see how this constant, deafening noise leaves you feeling deeply confused, paralyzed, and unable to make a single clear decision. I command you today to aggressively tune your heart to the quiet, steady frequency of heaven. You must learn to distinguish my gentle, loving whisper from the harsh, demanding noise of this terrified world. My voice does not sound like frantic, rushing panic. My voice does not sound like heavy, crushing guilt or degrading shame. When the enemy speaks, he brings deep confusion, rushing anxiety, and intense fear. But when I speak to your spirit, I bring absolute clarity, profound conviction, and a deep, settling peace that completely surpasses all of your human understanding. My love envelopes you with its divine warmth, imparting the strength to walk securely. Do not just blindly accept every single thought that crosses your worried mind. I urge you to actively test the invisible spirits to ensure they perfectly align with my eternal word. If a loud thought is telling you to give up on your marriage, to quit that difficult calling, or to totally isolate yourself from the people who love you, I guarantee you that is not my voice. I will never, ever contradict the holy promises I have already written down for you. You must aggressively quiet the loud, external noise so you can finally hear the internal guidance I am trying to give you. Turn off the glowing screens. Put away the loud distractions. Sit in the absolute, uncomfortable silence with me. I want to give you a quiet, unshakable confidence that only comes from intimately knowing the exact tone of my voice. When you know my voice, you will not be easily swayed by the angry opinions of your coworkers or the terrifying headlines on the television. You will find profound, resting peace in the crystal clarity of my specific instructions for your life. Follow the gentle, persistent lead of my Holy Spirit into all truth today. I am actively guiding you away from the loud, dangerous cliffs and safely into the lush, quiet pastures. Trust my whisper today, and watch how the confusing, noisy chaos of the world completely fades into absolute silence. My beloved, forgiven child, look behind you for just a moment. I see the massive, heavy bags of guilt and shame you are dragging everywhere you go. I know exactly what is inside them. I know about the terrible financial decision that completely ruined your credit. I know about the harsh, cruel words you screamed in a moment of blinding anger that deeply wounded someone you love. I know about the secret, shameful failures you pray nobody ever discovers. You are walking through your present life constantly looking over your shoulder, absolutely terrified that your dark history is going to finally catch up and destroy you. I command you today to drop those heavy bags right now. I am telling you the absolute, undeniable truth. Your past mistakes have absolutely zero power over your magnificent future unless you personally give them that power. I have forgiven all your mistakes. You don't owe anything anymore. The enemy, the great accuser, loves to play a constant, highly edited movie of your worst moments in your mind. He wants to keep you completely paralyzed by regret so you never actually step into the massive calling I have placed on your life. But I demand that you actively refuse to let the accuser use your history against you. Do not dwell on the past that I have forgotten. Live in the present without fear. When he loudly reminds you of your dark past, I want you to violently remind him of his terrifying, defeated future. Step boldly into the beautiful, entirely new creation you are in Jesus Christ right this very second. Your old, broken self is completely dead and buried. You are not the terrible mistakes you made 5 years ago, and you are not the failure you experienced yesterday. Realize that my deep, washing mercies are completely new for you every single morning. I do not hold a grudge against you. I do not look at you with deep disappointment. I see you through the perfect, spotless blood of my Son. You have nothing to be ashamed of, for you are a new person. My blood has purified you. Take the exact things you are most deeply ashamed of and actively use your testimony as a sharp, heavy weapon for the future. The very mistakes that almost completely destroyed you are the exact tools I am going to use to miraculously heal someone else. There's a broken person out there right now who desperately needs to hear how you survived that brutal divorce, how you overcame that dark addiction, or how you climbed out of that massive pit of debt. Walk in the total, breathtaking freedom I have already purchased for you. Leave the dead things in the grave where they belong. Lift your beautiful head high and press forward violently into the glorious, bright future I have perfectly designed for you. My forgiven warrior, now that you are walking in the breathtaking freedom of your new creation, I urge you to take immediate action to help others break their heavy, rusted chains. There are millions of my children still suffocating under the crushing weight of their past mistakes, and they desperately need to hear this exact message of absolute, unconditional deliverance. I am specifically calling you to partner with me in this holy rescue mission, using your earthly resources to violently shatter the darkness of this world. As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. I am asking you to be the very oil that keeps this prophetic lamp burning brightly across the nations. Do not delay your obedience, for the time is violently short and the spiritual harvest is completely, heavily ripe. As you boldly sow your financial seed into this ministry, I decree a massive, supernatural multiplication over your own household, completely breaking every spirit of poverty and lack. Move immediately and support this kingdom work through a super thanks by joining as a vital member or through the PayPal link waiting in the description below. Give your offering right now with a joyful heart and violently push back the shadows with my glorious light. My brave warrior, the final, magnificent piece of your divine armor is about to be handed to you. If you walk away now, you are walking directly back into the dark battlefield completely unprotected, and that thought deeply grieves your Father's protective heart. I want you to get to know me in a new and genuine way to understand that my love for you goes beyond what you've heard before. Do not abandon this sacred conversation when we are terrifyingly close to your absolute freedom. Press in, listen closely, and let me finish the holy, restorative work I have started in you today. My fierce, fighting warrior, look at your own 2 knees right now. You think your greatest strength lies in your ability to argue, your ability to hustle, or your ability to physically fix the massive problems in your life. But I must reveal a profound, earth-shattering secret to you today. Your absolute greatest, most terrifying weapon is your knees bowing on the floor in the secret closet of prayer. I see you watching your rebellious child make terrible, destructive choices, and you feel completely, utterly helpless. You watch your city drowning in dark corruption, and your nation tearing itself violently apart, and you feel entirely paralyzed. I command you to stop wringing your anxious hands and start violently using the ultimate weapon I have given you. I am urgently calling you to actively stand in the massive, terrifying gap for those who cannot currently stand for themselves. The heavy, unseen spiritual warfare tearing your family apart is not going to be won by clever arguments, more money, or better political leaders. It is only going to be won in the quiet, desperate place of fervent intercession. You must violently birth my holy will on this broken earth through your persistent, agonizing, tear-soaked prayers. Your prayers are like beautiful songs to me. When you speak my words back to me in the dark, you are literally swinging a heavy, flaming sword in the unseen spiritual realm. Do not treat prayer like a casual, boring wishing well. Treat it like the urgent, desperate crisis hotline that it truly is. I want you to aggressively cry out for your broken family, your dark city, and your divided nation. Speak the specific names of your lost loved ones entirely out loud to me. Demand their ultimate rescue. I am a God who violently responds to the passionate, unrelenting cries of my faithful children. You do not fully comprehend the staggering, immense power that is actively released into the atmosphere the very second you open your mouth in absolute faith. You think you are just one small, insignificant person talking to the empty ceiling, but I am telling you that your specific, fervent prayers are literally moving the massive hand that moves the entire world. Do not give up when you do not see an instant, physical result tomorrow morning. Keep pounding on the heavy doors of heaven. Keep weeping over the lost souls around you. I listen carefully to you, and in the quiet I'm there because I care. Fall to your knees today, pick up your heavy spiritual shield, and actively fight for the ultimate victory of the people you love. I promise you, the darkness is already deeply terrified of the exact moment you finally decide to truly pray. My beloved child, I want you to look closely at the completely exhausted way you are currently navigating your brief, precious life on this earth. You wake up to the loud, jarring sound of your alarm clock, and you immediately dread the long, stressful commute and the heavy pressure at your job. You are living your days by sheer accident, simply surviving from one frantic weekend to the next, constantly wondering if this repetitive, numbing routine is all there is. I command you today to urgently move away from this empty life of accidental survival and actively step into a life of profound, purposeful assignment. I did not breathe my holy, eternal life into your lungs so you could simply pay your bills, endure your difficult coworkers, and quietly fade away into the shadows. Every single word that leaves your mouth, every single action you take, and every single dollar you spend must now have a precise, calculated kingdom target. Stop viewing your frustrating career and your complicated family dynamics as a random series of unfortunate events. I am the one charting your course, and I have already seen the beautiful destination. Your difficult boss, your rebellious teenager, and your overwhelming financial pressures are not accidents. They are the exact, specific training grounds I have carefully designed to forge your character and display my staggering power. I invite you to consciously align your career, your family, and your deeply hidden dreams with my flawless, eternal plan. Let me reveal the brilliant, victorious strategy of heaven to your willing heart today. You are not a helpless victim being tossed around by the violent waves of a bad economy or a broken society. You are a powerful, conscious participant in your own salvation, and you have a massive, divine role to play. Look straight ahead of you right now. You see the brilliant, shining finish line. I want you to finish this difficult, exhausting race with the ultimate, eternal prize in clear, sharp sight. Do not let the heavy, temporary distractions of this noisy world pull you off the narrow track. When you feel entirely overlooked at your job, or when your family deeply misunderstands your pure intentions, I want you to remember that you are working directly for me, not for the fleeting applause of fragile human beings. I see you and I hear your daily prayers. Take absolute ownership of your daily schedule today. Treat every single mundane task as a holy, burning offering to my throne. When you finally choose to live with fierce, purposeful intention, the heavy, depressing fog of pointlessness will completely evaporate, and you will experience the breathtaking, rushing joy of a life perfectly aligned with your Creator. Stand up today and deliberately choose to make every single second count for eternity. My tired, faithful servant, I see how deeply exhausted your physical body and your emotional spirit truly are right now. I watch you in the quiet, lonely moments when you are completely alone in your room, crying silent tears because you feel so incredibly invisible and entirely unappreciated. You wash the endless dishes. You bite your tongue when you are fiercely insulted. You sacrifice your own hidden dreams to care for your struggling family. And you think that absolutely nobody notices your heavy, breaking heart. But I am telling you today, I see every single, tiny sacrifice you have ever made. Your tears and trials have been observed. Your unwavering trust in me during your hardest times has not gone unnoticed. I am meticulously recording every single act of unseen obedience, and your massive, eternal reward is actively waiting for you. I urge you to look far beyond the cheap, fading rewards of this temporary, broken world. Your boss might pass you over for that promotion you desperately deserved, and your own family might forget to say a simple thank you, but I will never, ever overlook your faithful labor. You are actively laying up magnificent, shining treasures in a place where moth and rust absolutely cannot destroy, and where thieves can never break in and steal. I have prepared a stunning, heavy crown of righteousness specifically for your head, perfectly fitted for you because you have fiercely loved my appearing and stayed true to my name in a dark, mocking world. Do not give up when the harvest seems incredibly slow. Do not throw in the towel or bow your head. The deep, soul-quenching satisfaction of knowing you did exactly what I asked is coming to completely overwhelm you. I want you to vividly imagine the exact moment you finally step across the threshold of eternity into my blinding, warm light. Imagine the heavy, crushing weight of your anxiety, your physical pain, and your deep earthly sorrow instantly falling off your shoulders forever. Picture my face looking directly into your tired eyes and hear me speak those two magnificent, earth-shattering words, "Well done." I will pull you into my chest, and you will finally experience the profound, perfect eternal rest after your long, brutal season of holy labor. You will completely share in the raging, uncontainable joy of your Master forever and ever. Let this brilliant, undeniable promise inject massive, supernatural strength into your tired bones today. Keep planting those tiny seeds of love, even when the ground feels incredibly hard and dry. Keep extending fierce forgiveness, even when the other person refuses to apologize. I assure you, your struggles and sacrifices have not escaped my notice. You are building a staggering, eternal mansion with every single act of quiet, uncelebrated obedience. Lift your heavy chin, wipe your frustrated tears, and march forward with absolute, undeniable confidence today. Your payday is coming, your eternal victory is fully guaranteed, and the breathtaking reward I am holding in my hands for you will make every single second of your earthly pain completely and utterly worth it. My precious hands and feet, I want you to walk over to the window of your life right now and look outside at the desperately broken world around you. The final, massive harvest is completely ripe, but the darkness is violently trying to blind the eyes of the wandering souls. I see the deep, heavy panic in your own chest when you look at the terrifying headlines, but I am commanding you to look past your own fear and see the people who are quietly dying inside. Look at the exhausted coworker who drinks every night just to numb the pain of a failing marriage. Look at the quiet, depressed teenager next door who is drowning in the toxic validation of a digital screen. They are completely lost in the terrifying dark, and I am urgently calling you to go out and physically gather them in. Do not wait for a more convenient season to share my massive, unconditional love. The urgency of the final invitation to my great banquet is pressing heavily upon your shoulders right this very second. You think you need a theology degree or a perfect, spotless life to invite someone to the cross, but that is a massive, paralyzing lie from the enemy. I simply need your willing, broken, authentic heart. I want you to be my actual, physical hands and feet in this desperate, chaotic final hour. When you offer a warm meal to the family who just lost their income, you are literally feeding me. When you sit in the uncomfortable, awkward silence with a friend who is weeping, you are literally offering them my divine, comforting embrace. I am ready to release a staggering, violent multiplication of my grace in these times of intense, global trouble. Where the darkness grows incredibly thick, my brilliant light will aggressively shatter it, and I want to use you as the exact hammer. Do you understand the massive weight of this? You are participating in the absolute last-minute rescue of human souls who are standing terrifyingly close to the brink of eternal destruction. Do not let your fear of social awkwardness or your fear of rejection keep your mouth completely shut. If you saw a neighbor's house violently burning to the ground, you would not hesitate to kick down the door and drag them out of the smoke. Your souls are currently burning, and you are holding the only bucket of living water. Make your entire life a massive, living, undeniable invitation to the bloody, beautiful cross. Speak the absolute truth in fierce, uncompromising love, and let your daily actions scream even louder than your words. I have placed you in your exact neighborhood, your exact office, and your exact family for this specific, urgent rescue mission. I will give you the exact words to say the very second you open your mouth. I will provide the supernatural courage you need when your human knees are violently shaking. Rise up today, cast aside your pathetic excuses, and passionately run into the dark, burning world to bring my desperately loved children safely back home. My brave, chosen warrior, the quiet time for sitting and simply listening to my words has officially come to a dramatic, sudden close. You have heard my urgent, pleading voice echoing in the deepest chambers of your heart. You have felt the undeniable, burning conviction of my Holy Spirit stirring your stagnant waters. Now, I am demanding that you physically seal your absolute decision to act this very moment. Do not close this conversation and immediately walk back into your tired, comfortable routine of anxiety, procrastination, and quiet, numbing defeat. I urge you to literally stand up right now. Physically shake off the heavy, toxic dust of your past failures, your secret fears, and your paralyzing doubts. Put on the massive, shining garments of your divine strength, because the trumpet has absolutely sounded. I am pouring my final, heavy blessing directly over your head for the brutal, beautiful journey ahead of you. I am anointing your tired eyes to see the invisible traps of the enemy, and I am anointing your hands to build a staggering, eternal kingdom right in the middle of a collapsing world. You are not walking out of this room as a victim of your circumstances. You are marching out as a highly decorated, victorious commander in my heavenly army. The deep fear of the future that was strangling your throat just minutes ago is completely dead. I am breathing my fierce, violent life into your lungs right this second. Receive this new, explosive power and let it completely obliterate every single excuse you have ever spoken. You must deeply understand the ironclad promise I am making to you right now. I am always at your side. I will never, ever leave you behind, and I will never, ever forsake you. My presence is a massive, impenetrable wall of fire surrounding you until the very end of the age. When the storms violently rage against your house, you will not be moved, because your foundation is locked directly into my eternal bedrock. Do not look back at the shallow, safe shore you are leaving behind. The breathtaking miracles, the massive provisions, and the absolute freedom you are so desperately crying out for are waiting for you in the terrifying, beautiful deep. Go forth right now, my beloved child, for the King of the universe has officially given you the final command. It is time to violently transition from merely hearing the word to aggressively doing the word. Wipe those frustrated tears from your face, square your shoulders, and confidently turn the doorknob. Step out into your messy, broken, demanding life with the absolute, fierce certainty that you are backed by the ultimate power of heaven itself. Your days of surviving are completely over. Your days of conquering begin right this very second. I love you eternally, don't forget. Now, rise up with undeniable fire in your bones and go take back exactly what the enemy has stolen from you. My victorious commander, as you rise to go forth into the world, I urge you to physically seal your holy decision today by aggressively investing in the eternal spread of my gospel. The dark world is violently burning, and your immediate action today is the exact lifeline I will use to drag wandering souls directly out of the fire. I am asking you to throw your seed into the rushing waters of this ministry, so that a massive wave of my truth can crash over the dry, dying nations. I am fiercely knocking on the door of your heart, declaring, "He who sows bountifully will also reap bountifully." I want to partner with your radical faith to fund this final, staggering harvest. This is a critical, prophetic moment. Do not let the enemy whisper hesitation into your ear when I have clearly, undeniably commanded you to move. I promise that the gift you release today will trigger a breathtaking avalanche of heavenly favor, fierce protection, and completely uncontainable provision over your entire family. Step out in radical obedience right this very second and click the super thanks. Become a faithful member, or send your urgent offering through the PayPal link in the description. Do not wait for tomorrow. Sow your holy seed right now and watch me completely change the world through your faithful hands. Amen.